All right, hello YouTube. We are starting a little bit early because it's a big episode, a lot of stuff to cover.
Got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, so we figured, we're already here early anyway, so we may as well just go ahead and hit the old the old red button and get started. So let's go ahead and hit the intro and not delay too much because two top 10 lists, a couple other odds and ends as well. So let's go ahead and hit the intro and get started.
The Dark Tower by Stephen King. The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. Go then. There are other worlds than these. Death, but not for you, gunslinger. It's time we had our own Palaver, I think, and it's going to take a while.
And yet, dauntless, the slug horn to my lips I set, and blew. Child Roland to the Dark Tower came.
We are content, one from many. Let the Palaver begin.
All right, hello and welcome to Dark Tower Palaver. This is our podcast covering Stephen King's magnum opus, The Dark Tower series, and through the lens of Dark Tower, all things Stephen King, because all things serve the beam, right?
That's right.
My name is Tad.
And I'm Peter.
And we're here for episode 169. Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
We're this is a bit we have the big episode that we threw out a month ago where we're gonna basically be splitting up our King top 10s into our respective centuries. So that should be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and hit the intro stuff first real quick. This is a round table. So despite the fact that we're not going to be talking about the ending, it doesn't mean that something won't come up. So if you're not finished the 7 primary books, you may want to cry off this podcast and stick to our book club episodes with those ones, except for the very, very tail end. We stay where we're at or before, we don't jump ahead, and we give you ample warning when we get to the spoiler section. So this is not a safe episode for you, though. If you want to find us, you can find us on Apple Podcasting, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, or any podcasting service of your choice. If you could subscribe, rate, and review us on any of those, we'd appreciate that. Then you can find us here at youtube.com/Dark Tower Palaver. Of course, like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. You'll catch our live streams here, as well as now we're doing YouTube Shorts, as well as that's on our Instagram as well. So if you're following us on either the YouTube or the Instagram, you'll be seeing some short stuff. In fact, I created one I'll be posting later, just showing a little behind the scenes on putting the episode together. So got that coming, but I don't want to put it out before because there's spoilers in it.
I realized I messed up. I did my reaction to Welcome to Derry episode 2. I only posted it on Instagram. I forgot to post it on YouTube. I gotta fix that.
Shame.
I literally just realized that.
Yeah. You'll be finding that on the YouTube stuff as well as come next year early on. We always have our March Insanity, and there's always updates on those, which are not necessarily live streams as well. So there's a few things on the YouTube channel. Then if you want to find the show notes, you can do that at darktowerpalaver.com. And then you can support us over at patreon.com/darktowerpalaver. We just had our hangout yesterday. We have monthly hangouts that everybody at every level gets access to. You also get access to our Discord server at every level, and then at the highest level you get to co-host an episode with us. And then if you want to contact the show, Peter can let you know the ways to do that.
The best way is through email. It's show@darktowerpalaver.com. And then, like Tad said, you can check us out on Instagram. It's Threads and Instagram together because they're one thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Dark Tower Palaver, all one word, no spaces there. That's where you'll find us for the reels. And then check out our Blue Sky. It's at darktowerpalaver.bsky.social. And then our Twitter, at darktowerpod. That's at darktowerpod. And our Facebook is facebook.com/darktowerpalaver. And then go to tpublic.com/user/darktowerpalaver to get yourself a hashtag Tad is Terrible sticker, pillow, t-shirt, poster. I need to get a poster.
Yeah, that is slander.
That is not slander. It's the truth.
Yeah.
It is the truth.
I just threw some emojis for you in the chat.
How dare you? Hashtag Tad is Terrible.
All right. Get all your stuff there? Or?
Yep, that was
okay. All right. Just making sure. I was too busy typing there to keep track of what you were saying. Until I heard the slander, of course.
It's not slander.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump on in. So there's a couple things we have before we dive into our lists. The first one we have some news is the Flanagan Carrie series has wrapped filming.
Oh, interesting.
Back on October 25th. Also, there's a little bit of an interesting thing here. So this is Michael Tirico, I think. He was like the boss in Fall of the House of Usher. He posted a really cool Instagram photo of kind of the whole cast and crew, I believe there. It's a pretty big thing. He has quite a good write-up on the site too. But there's one other aspect to this. Anything you're noticing there, Peter?
I'm reading what he said, so
under
is it in his message or in the picture?
Under the picture.
Under the picture. Carrie Season 1. How could there be more than one season?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just like a thing that just as TV you call it season 1, even if it's just a limited series type thing. But I have no idea.
Really,
but
they don't. Do you remember when they did the Outsider?
Not usually like customer facing.
Yeah,
but it could be a thing, or they may want more. What if we got the entire Carrie story and then like the investigation shit was
season 2?
I don't know. It's just very intriguing that, and I don't know if I don't know if he created this like actual graphic. You know, like it could just be a mistake where the actor just puts it down as season. I don't know.
It's very easy to make a season 2 of Carrie. Just don't have her die at the end. That's it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Does she end up in the hands of the shop? Does she end up in the hands of the U.S. government? Is she not in anyone's hands and she escapes the town completely?
Yeah.
And is off doing Carrie White things somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's quite a change there.
I mean, yeah, of course it's a change, but I mean that happens all the time with adaptations, right?
Yeah, but Flanagan's pretty legit to the source material.
I mean, this speaks, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because it's like other people have said, like kind of the whole why Carrie again. But I would say, can Carrie really justify? I mean, for one, we were already debating when they announced it, like 8 episodes or whatever it is. It's like you got 8 hours worth of story to tell in Carrie. Like
you have to do the investigation if you're going to do.
If you're doing that, we already talked about that. So it's just like. It's an intriguing thing that he wrote that, and it's caused obviously a little bit of a stir online. Also from us Dark Tower folks, of course, if there was another season.
That's great. Season 2 can be someone else. Flanagan's got something else to do. We've seen that before, where Frank Darabont with The Walking Dead walked away and did something else.
Yeah.
So obviously that was
not really. He didn't do anything else until now.
That wasn't amicable. That was force out and everything. But we've seen it before. I mean, Joss Whedon with Buffy, he did like.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Firefly.
No, that too. That one was canceled, but he didn't do the full. He doesn't do every single episode of Buffy. Yeah. He comes back for the important episodes, the finales, or middle episodes that are like really important.
Yeah,
he was just like the showrunner kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm. Maybe if that's what Flanagan's doing here.
Showrunner is a big job, though.
It is.
Showrunner is probably the biggest job. It's kind of hard because I think most of us have like movies in our mind. But yeah, like directors are actually not as powerful for TV because directors are a little bit. Yeah, it's a showrunner and stuff.
You call up your friend and be like, "Hey, you want to direct an episode of Stranger Things?" So it's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like Darabont coming back to direct some Stranger Things.
Exactly.
Episodes. Which actually, from what I understand, and I hadn't looked this up, he hasn't directed since Walking Dead.
Really? He hasn't?
Because he retired.
I thought he did something else.
No, there's a big lawsuit involved with The Walking Dead and stuff as well, but then he pretty much retired. So yeah, this is going to be his first return to directing since season 2 of Walking Dead, which is what, 10, 12 years ago?
Lord.
It's been a long time. Because they're on 15, 16 something seasons, I would assume, plus they have multiple spin-offs and shit. So
it finally wrapped.
Oh, the mainline stuff.
Yeah, 11
wrapped.
seasons.
All right. We also, let's jump on over to the Palaver. Then we have one other thing to palaver about before we dive into our lists.
1.5, because I honestly forgot about this. I realized I had it written down. My wife has watched the It movies, and we haven't had a roundtable since that. So we'll talk about that. But that ties in nicely with our other topic, which is Welcome to Derry.
Welcome to Derry. 2 episodes in now?
2 episodes. We'll have episode 3 tomorrow. So,
okay. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. So yeah, I posted on the short form stuff. My reaction to both episodes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
just call it a reel. It's a reel.
No, they're YouTube shorts.
It's a reel.
It's short form content.
How dare they?
They changed. Everyone has their different names for it. There's TikToks too. So
TikToks.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of nonsense.
We should come up with our own word, and that's what it shall be called.
Novellas. I don't know.
Because you wanted to say short stories, but it's already shorts.
Yeah.
All right, we'll call them shorts.
But I threw out two things there that I was intrigued by your response to. One, our main character seemingly is someone that has had a brain injury and cannot experience fear.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting thing to cross Pennywise. I don't think we've ever seen anything even remotely like that. Even when we had sociopaths and stuff, they all, experience fear.
I mean,
when it came to Pennywise.
Look at Bowers,
Bowers, and then Hochstetter. We had
Patrick,
a couple. Yeah, we had a couple sociopath, psychopath types that have run across Pennywise,
but they still have fears.
Yeah. But I mean, so to have like a character that is, not potentially not able to sense fear. It's funny, after the first episode, probably one of the biggest complaints I saw online was that scene with the quote unquote Russians, and people are like, what the fuck was that? It's the most random shit. I'm like, do you guys not watch television? Like, shit doesn't pay off immediately. Like, there's going to be payoff to this, certainly. And of course we then find out in the second episode that it was a test, which I assumed it was a test. Like,
I knew.
Like, there's no way the Russians are actually getting into fucking Derry, Maine. Like, that's not a thing. So
I got visibly upset with episode 1 there. With that whole the Russian, and the test and everything like that was fine. What I didn't like was the fact that Hanlon and his buddy let 3 armed men who were trying to steal top secret confidential material just go. They didn't, boop, 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 shut down the base, get the MPs, get me all the soldiers. We're going to find these what are you doing? You're on a military base. Lock it down.
Yeah.
I was a little like, really?
I mean, I think there's some trauma going on there.
I was even worried that he wasn't going to even report it. Like, oh my God. Like, what is this guy doing? He's just sitting on his bunk like, well, but that was a bar fight.
But then there was some teases in the first episode. The second episode, though, it does seem a lot more evident that the military might, in fact, be looking for Pennywise. And that is a very intriguing thing, because that would basically imply that the government knows about Pennywise. I mean, that's a whole new wrinkle to the entire Derry, mythology. Like, we've now. Let's be honest. If the government actually knew about it, would that surprise us?
No, and that's the big thing, is that it doesn't surprise me at all. We have the military there and everything. The only military that we really have experience with in the actual novel of it is the fire at the Black Spot, which none of the adults understand. That something is happening. That's one of the things that Mike covers in his little Mike sections. Is that he's just like, it's phenomenal. It's unbelievable that we can have the murder rate, the disappearances, the constant tragedies in this town, and no one notices. CNN's not setting up a base camp here to be like, well, this time on Derry tragedies. Like, it's phenomenal. It's mind blowing that it never is noticed. But that's part of Pennywise, right? That's part of him. So this is kind of a twist on that. And it's not far-fetched for something like this to happen. King has it throughout his works. We literally were talking about the shop with Carrie.
Plus throughout all of culture and stuff too, right? Wasn't it one of the Jurassic Parks, the whole idea was they wanted to like basically use the dinosaurs as military assets?
Oh, was it really?
One of them, yeah. Wasn't it one of the earlier ones before the reboot? Wasn't one of them like they were talking about potentially weaponizing them, or was that one of the Chris Pratt ones?
It might have been one of the Chris Pratt ones.
It was the first Chris Pratt one, because that's why he was training the raptors.
Oh, that's why and that's why they made the Indominus Rex, the one that can go invisible.
Yeah,
like,
that's
smart.
I think it's a common thing throughout all pop culture that like the government and the military is absolutely stupid and trying to harness things that they can't possibly understand or control.
We see it time and time again.
I'm not opposed to it, but it adds a whole new wrinkle to the entirety of the mythology of it and Derry. So I was just curious what you thought as the big It fan.
It doesn't bother me at all. Honestly, I expect every single one of them to fucking die, basically. basically, that's what I'm expecting, is that it's going, ooh, buffet.
But that does mean, though, that the government knows about it. That's an interesting thing, because like that goes all the way up the chain. Like, unless he's going to it's going to wipe out the entirety of the U.S. government, like there's going to be now at least corners of the government that understand that he's there. But is that getting into the thing of like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark when you have that giant fucking warehouse and stuff? Well,
here's the thing though. They know something's going on, but do they know exactly?
That's true. We don't know.
We don't know what they know. Because if they're just trying to harness this power that is causing all these tragedies, and they know that there's something there, they've detected it, they may not know what they're walking into. We've seen that before. Stranger Things is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, look, we found a rift in between this and another dimension. Let's open it. Oh, shit. You know, and then everybody dies, kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that the entire government knows about that rift in Hawkins, Indiana, right?
Yeah.
So
and yes, Barack, you mentioned the chat. We did start early just because it is probably going to be a big episode with a lot to cover. So we decided we were already here early anyway, so we decided to start early. Apologies about that for anyone that's counting on the normal start time, because we're about to hit that here in just a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did start a little early. There's only a couple things we're really hitting before we dive into our list. The other thing though is there was somebody online that brought up a question about how would it be different in the modern day?
Mm-hmm.
Like full on, like I know the movie's kind of adapted that a smidge, but like overall, like I can't remember the question was like, could Pennywise be effective in the modern day? And like my answer was, and I brought it up on the show before, I don't think he's as effective, because I think when you've got the internet and shit and you got those sleuths, like we'll find Redditors that will be able to find like the death rates in Derry being so high. And it may not be that the whole entirety of the media locks in on it, but if you've got those fringe outside media people that like are able to from afar, because then Pennywise's like impact wouldn't impact them, right? Like, but they would then be able to have the ability to like look at it and go, oh look, and they might even find that the patterns like Mike did, where it's like, oh, there's every 27 years there's some catastrophic fucking mass casualty event, and it's like I just wonder, not that Pennywise wouldn't still have his full run of the place, but I do think that you wouldn't necessarily have the same kind of like mystery from the outside, because internet people, man,
I think
they come up like, how many serial killers now have they found where they're like, oh hey, that we found extra victims because we were able to like piece together like MOs and stuff, and it's like, shit, the police don't even do their
they were looking at oh, this is where he traveled on this weekend, look, there was 2 disappearances, let's go investigate those. Oh look, one of them was his victim,
and they're not perfect. Boston Marathon bombing and all,
there's a perfect example,
but I'm just saying that there would be at least that veneer of like mystery would be slightly removed, and I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but it would just, there would be...
I think that Pennywise would cloud it too much, that it would just become another conspiracy theory. I mean, how many conspiracy theories do we have nowadays where people... It's a fun question to ask a group of people if you're bored and you have nothing really else to do. Ask them, okay, what's a conspiracy theory you kind of buy into, but not fully, but what's also a conspiracy theory that you just think is absolute bullshit? Like it's fun to throw that around and everything. I bet you that would be something that someone would absolutely peg on Reddit. Hey, why does this happen? And then you would have the 18 people that would come in and be like, you're a dumbass. Here's the reason why that's not, these are just accidents. What the fuck?
But like everything. It is like a conspiracy, though, where the people that actually caught on to the pattern and actually believe it, you're never going to convince them. Now, that's why I think like the mass media, like CNN wouldn't be covering it. Nope. There wouldn't be White House pressers about it. It would just be a fringe group of people online that because essentially everything that Mike was able to do, they would do the same thing, and they don't have the clouded mind that Mike has as well. So I don't know. It was just that as we're talking about Derry, it kind of sparked my memory. Baraki also mentions, keep in mind how much fear the Russians, specifically communists in general, is a central figure in the fears of the times. 100%. I think the show's doing a great job of both racial and like the kind of end of the world Cold War era of that early 60s. Like I think the show's done a great job of capturing both of those things.
That's the height of the Cold War, isn't it? Like
I
mean,
60s? Yeah, the early 60s especially is like, that's, Cuban Missile Crisis. Like that's like, there's a few different times that a few different high-ranking people in D.C., went home and said that, I thought I was leaving my office for the last time because, the world was going to end type shit. Like a lot of that didn't become like common knowledge until much later. But, a lot of your average Americans probably didn't know just how close it came at a certain point.
Yeah, we see that in like 11/22/63 is like her ex boyfriend calls her and is like, this is it, kiss your ass goodbye, and that's why she she gets wasted and takes pills and stuff like that because she's like, fuck, this is it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And isn't there a correlation with a raise in birth rates 9 months later from that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like yeah, they had a few scares, and this is late 60s, right? When Welcome to Derry's taking place.
No, I thought it was early 60s.
Is it early 60s?
Yeah, I thought it was
Okay.
early 60s for sure.
Yeah, so it's right there. I mean, literally, I loved the idea of them explaining why there's such a big military base up in Maine.
Yeah.
As, hey, we're
North Pole. That
yeah,
makes total
we go
sense
right
to
up.
me.
We
Yeah.
go right up over the North Pole, and we're in Russia. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that actually does really follow for me 100%. But yeah, no, I'm digging the show a lot. There is some, of course, haters online, but I'm enjoying the show quite a bit. So
1962.
can't wait to see what else
Yeah.
we've got on coming down the pike here.
So JFK's president, 1962.
Yeah,
That's-
I want to
okay.
say we've seen his picture on the walls a few times.
that makes sense.
So yeah,
Hey,
I'm always
Baraki 62. I thought is what he says in the chat.
okay.
2 points for Baraki.
Baraki says Pennywise would have to adapt and find ways to lure them down to him instead of striking out above ground for his victims. Talking about if there were like more knowledge.
Yeah.
Because I think he would be able to like pollute the minds of the people in Derry to where even if the people
Yeah.
caught wind of like those podcasts and shit, like it would cloud it enough to where they would like forget pretty quickly to the point
it's also the same thing as like I listen to a podcast that goes over like the unknown and unsolved mysteries and stuff like that. I literally have one that I listened to this week. It's called the Berkshire UFO incident in the 60s in Massachusetts. There are no records of this happening except eyewitness accounts.
yeah,
Which is astounding that hundreds of people witnessed this UFO incident. No one called the cops. No, but apparently people called the radio station. The radio
Yeah.
station encouraged more people to call, but then suddenly those tapes disappeared. All of a sudden, the conspiracy theory becomes,
Yeah.
well, where'd all these reports go? It's the Men in Black, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I think that right there is exactly what would happen with Derry.
Oh yeah,
And
I think
the people that live there,
yeah.
they don't react. They're like, oh god, it's our town history. Calm down, kind of thing. Just like any town that has any kind of like real folklore to it.
Yeah.
There's the ones that have the chupacabra down in Texas in the Southwest. Then you got the Mothman and the New Jersey Devil and all these ones. They lean into it. They embrace it a lot of times. So it's like home of Bigfoot.
Down in southern Utah, not central Utah.
Yeah.
There's like a whole community for like UFO shit.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So,
It's like
Roswell, New Mexico.
Towns lean into it.
Yeah.
Like the mayor of this town actually at one point christened like a plaque in remembrance of the people who were abducted and had stuff done to them and everything. So it's like I think that's where Derry would slide right into that comfortably, and Pennywise would not have any trouble whatsoever still getting victims.
No, and I think it would really just come down to the fact that there would be more knowledge of potentially what was going on by a group of outsiders.
I think the outsiders coming into Derry would actually make a pretty good season. Is where you get 5 or 6 people that are like, we believe something's going on there. We're going to go investigate. And then they run into a whole batshit situation there, and every single one of them dies.
Yeah. No,
like
100%.
that would be a great season of Welcome to Derry.
Oh, and slow burning Pennywise too. I mean, technically we've seen Pennywise a few times, but we've not seen the clown form of Pennywise.
Yeah,
which,
we haven't seen Pennywise proper.
Yeah, I was. It was funny. I was talking to someone at my barber shop about it. The fact that like the slow burn, and like I was like, yeah, that's actually a lot more reflective of the book. And like the girl at the front desk, she's like a high school kid and stuff. She's like, oh, you've read the book? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, a couple times. She's like, it's so long though. I'm like, yeah, the Stand's a lot longer, and I read that every year. She's like, what? She was just completely mind blown on it.
And that's where you go, oh, let me tell you about this little thing called the Dark Tower.
Yeah. I mean, there's that too. But I'm like, I guess she just isn't a reader, because like to me, I that's not even a big thing. Like at first I thought maybe she was like, oh, you read it, like in the sense of like it's scary or something. But I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine. So your wife watched it as well. Last thing we'll touch on before we move on to the lists.
My wife is watching Welcome to Derry with me because she has watched It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2 and It the miniseries. She has read/listened to the book. She is a full-on Pennywise fan now, and she is quite upset with me about it. And she's thoroughly enjoying Welcome to Derry. The notes that she gave me is that she liked It Chapter 2 better than It Chapter 1.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
That is a hot take. A lot of people don't, but she liked It Chapter 2. Rewatching it, I was way too harsh on that film.
Yeah.
Like the whole Mike Hanlon stuff that I hated, I did not hate it this time
Yeah.
at all. Like, it makes sense. He's trapped in Derry. Of course he's going to go kind of, you know? It makes perfect sense that. And then, like, the ritual of Chud scratching out the side of it to show that they all got fucked up by Pennywise.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It really is. It's brilliant to go down there without a plan. Just like, hey, they couldn't do it, but we can, you know, kind of thing. So
yeah,
she thoroughly enjoyed it. She thought it was awesome.
Chris from Australia.
Chris is chapter 2 too.
Yeah.
As well.
I was thinking about him even before he chimed in. I was like, I remember Chris from Australia really liking chapter. I mean, I like chapter 2 as well. I think people are like
it's
ridiculously
so
too hard on it. Yeah, like
My God.
I think my biggest complaint is they should have just left most of the kid stuff out. Like, just fucking commit to it. If you're gonna split everything in half, and because I feel like the de-aging was like not terrible, but it was probably my least favorite part of the whole film. And like, so to me, it's just like it. And I get the kids is probably the more compelling part of it for a lot of people, but it's like then either cross-cut the whole thing and just like King does, or commit to it and don't, because I just felt like the retreading of the kids was like probably my least favorite part. Even though there were some good scenes with them, it was just a matter of like, it just felt out of place where it's like, this should be the adult movie. This should be the adult side of it. It should, you know, so like I just felt like it was kind of just like they had such a hit with the first one. They were like, they almost felt like they had to like go and re-show. I don't know. It just, and maybe they just want to use the kids again. I don't know what it was, but I just felt like that was my least favorite part, but it wasn't enough to like make me hate the film by any means. It was just, you know,
I was definitely Thanos at the end of the, maybe I've judged you too harshly. I was like, that was not as bad as I remembered. I remember being like pissed off about some stuff that they did with chapter 2. Rewatching it, I'm like, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, plus Bill Hader.
Like, Bill Hader is okay.
I mean, they cast everyone as the adults brilliantly.
I think
like across the board.
I think the one thing, and this goes for chapter 1 and chapter 2, is that Eddie was way too loud. Eddie was Richie.
You know, I actually saw a post about like somebody bitching about that not too long ago, and they're like, you know what, the first series did the same thing, and I'm like, maybe there's a reason for that, because Eddie's fucking boring in the books, and you can't have a character like that in a movie or a TV series. The one thing you cannot do in film or TV is you can't be boring, and Eddie would have been an entirely invisible character if they would have done him like they did in the book.
Yeah, he was a little sidekick to Bill and just kind of go along, and then Richie would pick on him a little bit, and he would say, you know, fuck off, Richie, and beep beep and stuff like that, and that would be about it.
Yeah.
But Ben was the same way. Ben was just this quiet kid who didn't really talk and everything like that. So that would have been 2 of the 7 losers like that. And it's just like, we can't do that.
Yeah.
So
because I told the person that that's what was my comment. As like, do you ever think about the fact that it's in both versions? There's maybe a reason for that. Like, just. I don't know.
It's kind of a thing, you know.
Yeah, because especially because you do have Ben being a little bit quieter too. So it's like, you can't double that up to where like, I don't know. That just
the adult Eddie was honestly fine, because that is how the adult Eddie is. He finally gets a little bit of a spine and is like, you know, shut the fuck up, Richie.
Yeah.
But when he's a kid, he's just kind of a pushover. But that's kind of the character, though. Like, that's how his mom's able to do what she does to him.
Yeah,
is because he is a pushover. So when he stands up to his mom in the hospital, that's Eddie's moment. That is Eddie's moment right there, is when he stands up to his mom.
Yeah.
Everyone else's moment, it seems to be like,
or his wife.
That's been mom/wife.
That's been rediscovered by the internet, so that's been going not viral, but like I just feel like I've been seeing it posted everywhere.
It's
people are like, oh my god, it's this. I'm like, we all knew that back then.
Yeah, like welcome to the party. Come on in. Have a seat.
It's just funny how the internet works. It's very cyclical, where there's just stuff that like gets noticed like in the immediacy, and then like it gets forgotten, and then it gets rediscovered. It's the funny cycle.
I will say the kills in chapter 2 seem very, very way more brutal than chapter 1.
Yeah,
because you have the 2 kids that you see get killed. One of them right in front of Bill.
Yeah,
it's just, you're like, oh, Bill's gonna save him. Yeah, of course he's gonna save him. This is it's, oh my god, he's dead.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh god, like good lord.
Yeah. Captain David says maybe I need to revisit chapter 2. I remember liking chapter 1 so much more. And I will say that like Peter's wife and Chris from Australia, I think, are the exceptions. Like, I'm not saying that they're wrong. It's just more people do think the first one is a stronger film for sure. Yeah. But I do think that there's some people that have allowed that like one is better than two to now be that two is just a piece of shit. I see that a lot. I've been seeing that a lot in the last few months, even on like Stephen King realm. I've seen it in the horror realm. I've just seen a lot of people shitting on. I'm like, dude, you guys are fucking crazy, man, because it's not that bad.
Rocky, you're not wrong. In general, yes, though, Georgie was pretty brutal. Georgie was the worst death in the first one.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that.
But that little girl that he manipulates under the bleachers.
Oh, under the bleachers. Dude, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was rough. And then, one last thing about my wife watching it, I have to compliment myself on, and also you'll appreciate this. Welcome to Derry episode 2 had the whole grocery store scene. Now, obviously, the end of that scene really takes the cake, but the unsettling nature of people following her, Pennywise following her, constantly, got to my wife so bad.
Did she notice the librarian in the first one?
Tad?
Okay.
You psychic bitch.
Yeah,
that is exactly where I'm going.
I love.
She did not notice that, so we watched episode 2. It's confusing. Chapter 2, episode 2.
Yeah.
We watched Welcome to Derry episode 2 the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
Because it did air on Halloween, but we forgot.
Yeah.
We were busy.
I had too
Halloween.
much stuff going. Yeah, I watched it.
So we watched it the next day. And she talked about, after we finished the episode, about how unsettling all those people like in the background and just like leaning out and smiling and then ducking away and stuff like that. Because it's always creepy when the person notices them, looks away, looks back, and they're gone.
It's worse when they don't.
It's worse when they don't.
Yeah, that librarian in the first movie, like, that is so much better than if he would have noticed, or even if the camera had racked focus so it was in focus. No, the fact it's out of focus makes it so much more terrifying, in my opinion.
So I loaded back up chapter 1, and I showed her that, and she's just like, oh my God, I didn't even notice that. I'm like, you'll never watch that scene again without 100%. Seeing her.
Now, I will say the one thing that was in the trailer is when he comes up from the water in the first one, in the basement. I think they hadn't done the special effects yet, but in the reflection, there's no eyes. It's just dark sockets.
Oh.
And then that wasn't that way in the movie. I'm like, dude, that was way more effective in the trailer.
Yeah.
I think you should have left it with no eyes for the reflection. That was just creepy as fuck. So, I'm guessing they just hadn't finished the special effects or whatever. But yeah, that's one of the things I noticed. So,
Baraki said that sort of thing on Welcome to Derry was a bit on the nose for me. It was better when it was subtle. The one thing I will say, Baraki, is that with this character, and I honestly forgot the girl's name, with her madness that Pennywise is basically trying to drive her insane is what it feels like.
Yeah.
That works so perfectly, though.
Yeah.
Because, like the librarian was a one-off.
Yeah.
It's the only time he really did it.
Yeah.
And he only did it once to Ben.
Yeah.
It's just like turned around and just was like, that boy looked juicy. It's basically what Pennywise was doing. But I feel like in the grocery store with her, he was just like, you know what? With this one, let me just see how far I can drive her before she just mentally breaks.
Yeah, plus it's part of her whole thing, right? She thinks that everyone views her through her. Whatever. Now, I do want her to get got, because selling out the kid's dad, even if it was like manipulated, she ultimately made a choice to sell the kid's dad out.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, all right, you deserve to die.
Tad.
Yeah, dude. That's some horse shit, man. Like, and I know that the cop tried to manipulate her a bit, but it's like ultimately she still had that moment to decide, yes, do you say something or no? And she allowed the
cop asked her a question. Could she be 100% sure that he wasn't there? Did she?
Yeah, she was doing it to save herself from going back to Juniper Hill, and like that's just a detestable thing. And I get it's a kid, but like I'm very, very staunch when it comes to my characters and horror things. And there's just certain people, they earn themselves stuff, and I'm like, I don't care about you anymore. Like, and I hope the dad ends up all right. So
I got kind of pissed off. I was watching Stranger Things today, and there's the scene where Eleven's questioned by the cops about her attack with the skate, and I'm like, there's no parent present. This is some bullshit. So I Googled it. Fuck, dude, that didn't become like normal practice for states, and some states still don't even have it.
Yeah.
That didn't become like normal practice until like the fucking 90s and 2000s. I was like, oh my God, you could just take a child from their parents and just be like, I'm going to grill this kid for 4 hours until he gives me what I want.
It's also like the parent, the other parent that would be able to spank the other kids. That was such a normal thing back in the old days and stuff. Like the it's my kid, stay away from him type thing is such a new thing to society, right? Like there were teachers that hit kids and it was like acceptable. It's like, you go home and like back in the 60s or 70s, like, oh, my teacher hit me. Well, what'd you do to deserve it?
Yeah, what'd you do?
Thing. It wasn't like a, raise the fucking army to go and destroy that teacher because they touched your kid.
Get him put in prison. Yeah,
so there's a different societal thing for sure. So, all right, that brings us over to the top tens. So,
we got two of them.
We got two. We're just a reminder to everyone, we're splitting the top tens into the 20th century and the 21st century. Something we've never done before, and I think it kind of gives a whole new wrinkle to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 people that emailed in: John from Buffalo, Aaron from Oklahoma. Aaron said, he had an intro to his.
Oh, okay.
You guys are doing great things in the King community. It's always so much fun to hear what you have to say. I noticed the short started appearing on my YouTube feed. Cool idea. Hope you keep them coming. Indeed. Heard you're doing a top 10 list by century. According to my research, the first year of the 21st century is 2001. So I made my cut there, making Black House the first book available in the 21st century. Also, I only considered novels. It was tempting to throw in short story collections, but I decided to keep it more simple. So that is Aaron. And then Chris from the UK emailed an intro as well and said, hi Tad and Peter, Chris from the UK with my list of top 10 King books from the 20th and 21st century. I'm halfway through Black House at the moment, my final King book before 100% completion. Congratulations on that. And the way it's going, it would definitely be on the list if I had finished it, which got it back to like the King Kids. Yep. I was able to chop Jack out of my list because I hadn't finished the Talisman yet. So I'm like, good, because I was already in a hard way trying to sort out that top 10 list there. And if I would have had to wrinkle Jack into the whole thing, my fucking God, I don't know what I would have done. So so those are the 2 intros that we've got. Anything you've got to intro us before we start? We're going to start with the 20th century, then we'll jump on over to the 21st century.
I did have a question. You have Baraki on here. I wrote down, he put his 21st century in the chat last week.
Okay, he did email me.
He did. Okay, then I can just delete that. That's what I was going to ask, because if I had to go through that, I was going to.
Yeah. Now, cool. I will say there is also one mistake, and I noticed it while I was doing the statistics.
Okay.
And it is actually Chris from the UK, which we just covered. I think he messed up and looked at the movie because he put Hearts and Atlantis in the 21st century, and Hearts and Atlantis came out in 1999. The film came out in 2001.
Gasp.
So, we'll cover it ultimately, but it does throw the stats off a smidge. Because he does have Hearts ranked quite high as well. So I was like, as I was looking at it, I realized like it was showing on both of my when I was doing the stats. I was like, wait, what the fuck? And I went through and looked because I was just looking at them in their like their own respective boxes. So it didn't spark that I was seeing Hearts and Atlantis on both lists until I was doing the stats. So didn't have time to do any kind of reaching out to him to potentially have him revise things. So only mistake there, which is it's all good. So let's go ahead and talk about honorable mentions. I don't have anything on the screen for honorable mentions, but Aaron from Oklahoma had 2 honorable mentions for the 20th century. On Writing, which is a great one. And then Dreamcatcher is some honorable mentions that he mentioned. And then you and I both have some honorable mentions.
Sure do.
So for me, and actually do yours because you're gonna razz me, I think, a little bit here.
Yeah, probably. My honorable mentions, 20th century, right?
20th, yes.
Misery, The Shining, and Gerald's Game.
The Shining is pretty shocking to me.
I've read The Shining like 3 times, and all 3 times it's been good, but I like these other ones better.
Oh man. So you might get me because I believe, if I remember right, both of my honorable mentions are in your top 10. Salem's Lot and Carrie are on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
So,
Salem's Lot's more of a surprise. Carrie, I understand. There's a special place in my heart for Carrie, which is why it's on my list and where it is on my list.
Yeah.
But I understand it's not for everyone and everything like that. But at least it's an honorable mention. I'll take that.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the listeners. I'll hit their number 10s on the list here. So, or let's see, what's going on here? Why is it? Oh, wait, am I on the wrong thing here? Or, you know what? I have to do the whole slide change thing. I forgot about that, I think. There we go. Yeah, I forgot I had to do the slide transition. All right. So for their number 10s, we've got John has Pet Cemetery, Aaron has The Talisman, and Chris from the UK has The Long Walk, and Baraki has Carrie. Yeah. So that is the number 10s for them. And then, how do you want to do this for our ordering here? Do you have a preference of going first, or?
I'm just here so I don't get fined. You pick.
Go ahead. We'll have you go first. Your number 10 is
Salem's Lot.
All right. Any explanation you want to go into? I mean, because I don't want to like speed through these thinking like, oh my God, we got 2 lists. And then we end up like speeding through this and we end up,
No, yeah.
So,
I mean, and the other thing also, I mentioned this before we went on the air.
It's your number 1.
We have talked about these.
We have
novels a lot. So it's not anything new, but for anyone who hasn't been around, Salem's Lot was my very first Stephen King novel ever. Tad introduced me to Stephen King. I was a Dean Koontz fan beforehand, and Goosebumps and Animorphs were before that when I was a teenager and young tween and kid. But Salem's Lot is vampires. It's not a happy ending.
Yeah.
This is I think the first time I ever read something that didn't have a happy ending. So,
oh, really? Yeah, because that would make sense, like with just what you probably would have read for the majority. I mean, like, yeah, that actually makes sense.
Like the ending of Animorphs is sad. There's some people who die that have been there through the entire series of Animorphs and everything. Dean Koontz has people who die that you care about them, but they all seem to wrap up into a nice, neat bow, and things turn out a-okay, kind of thing at the end. It's
at least for the most part.
It's sad that this character died, but you know what? A, B, and C characters turned out okay. Salem's Lot, nobody wins.
Yeah.
Like nobody wins. Like Ben gets away with the kid. I forgot the kid's name. Ben Mears gets away with the kid, and then they have to go back.
Yeah.
And it's just like shit, like that's not great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. Like I said, it made my honorable mention. I do think that it was definitely this is tough. Even like splitting this out, I thought it might actually make it a little bit easier because you're always kind of like fighting. Like there's always a fight going on between like those new age ones that like who's gonna and what's it gonna knock off the top 10 list of like the classic King stuff. So but again, for my honorable mentions, like Salem's Lot and Carrie, like those are both great ones. They just missed the cut this time around. Of course, if we did this once a year, it would be different. Most likely there'd be some at least movement in where things are placed, maybe not necessarily what was on the list, but for me, honestly, I think it might actually change a little smidge what would actually be on the list, because sometimes your
it's
tastes
also
and stuff.
It's also when you've recently reread them too.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yeah. So for me, my number 10 is one that is not as big on a lot of lists, and it is The Gunslinger.
Okay.
Not really showing up a whole lot. It's not entirely devoid. There's a couple people that there's a couple mentions of The Gunslinger, but for me it was actually funny because as I was like looking at it and stuff, because like famously I've talked about it over the years quite a bit. I struggle with The Gunslinger the first time through, but like on reread I've always enjoyed it, but I do think it may be, I don't know, maybe be my least favorite of the books. Like I love all the books, but it might be my least favorite of them. But at the same time,
for mine.
But at the same time, for me though, I do still absolutely love the book. So as I was sitting there with Salem's Lot, Carrie, and the Gunslinger, I was like kind of flipping through in my head, and I was suddenly like, you know what? I fucking do love The Gunslinger. As much as I struggle with it the first time through, I do enjoy the book quite a bit. So,
Chris said, "Are we including Dark Tower books in the list as individual books? I suppose, since they span both centuries." And then he responded, because you were literally introducing your number 10 as he put that in.
Okay.
And he said, "Okay, Tad, just let us know, LOL."
Yeah.
And then Baraki says, "Heresy." I don't know if it's heresy that The Gunslinger is so low, or the Gunslinger is just not as represented as you're saying.
Could be both, because it is on his list.
Baraki says, "What book one is in my top 3 Dark Tower books?" Hey, it's the bottom for me.
And the thing is, it is the most divisive of the books, because I do feel like there are people that absolutely fucking adore it, and there are people that struggle with it. And like I think book 4 you could potentially say is the next most controversial, but I just, even seeing it online, it is the most, because there are people that are like, y'all are fucking crazy, like the people that struggle with it, because this book fucking rocks. Like, so it is just like, just in terms of like the highs and lows of book 1 are so much higher than all the other books, and book 4 is maybe a close second, but and because we all know why, right? Because you're expecting to move on this journey, and there's never a time in Lord of the Rings that you spend an entire book talking about the backstory of something rather than
Frodo and Sam and how they became friends.
Yeah, rather than moving towards Mordor. So like,
Yeah.
you know, I understand, you know, why, you know, 4 does have, and I actually first time through I hated 4 more than anything else, but now it's my favorite, of course.
Yeah.
So but yes, Baraki, it is on his list, and we'll get to it there. And he does say there it's his top 3 for the Dark Tower.
He also says, I think first-time readers get a pass, but return often Dark Tower, so constant readers should regard it higher.
And that's the way it was for me. Like the first time through, I struggled because it doesn't have that King polish. You could tell it's a younger King. It's a lot more, there's just a feel to it that's so much different than anything I'd ever read from King before. And even now when I read it, I'm like, yeah, I could still feel that vibe. I just, because I love Roland, I love the story, I love Jake, and like, I love the overall series, like it's allowed that, and that's like buoyed that book up for me quite a ways, versus the first time I was like, I remember even going to the second one, I'm like, if the second book's like that, like I'm going to give it a little bit of a chance, but I might put it aside and just give this series up because it just was so different and it wasn't fully to my taste, if that makes sense. And then the second book, like fucking opening that door and seeing a goddamn jetliner, I was like, what the fuck? I am down for this series all the way to the end now.
When I come to the Dark Tower series, it's always, okay, I got to get through the gunslinger, then I get to the good stuff, you know, kind of thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm being funny, Baraki. I really am. I do enjoy the gunslinger. There are several parts of it that I thoroughly enjoy, especially the Gilead stuff, the flashbacks with that, and everything. But when it comes to these other books that are on my top 10, I enjoy them throughout.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes down to. I mean, even looking at like The Shining is not on my list because I don't enjoy it throughout. There are parts of The Shining that just don't. The Shining never has captivated me the way that it captivates you. I think
it's King's scariest book too.
Oh no, not a chance.
I think it's 100% the scariest book. It's the only one of his books that's truly actually got to me in a way. So, and there's
Brocky says this is what you get and puts a snake emoji.
I'm not saying there's not other scary moments and stuff, but I feel like that one actually like hit me, and every time I reread it too, it gets me. Like there's just a couple of those scenes that are just like, dude, this is like absolutely fucking masterful horror. Like, and you know me, I'm one that's been desensitized for I don't 35 years of my life.
I don't think I've ever seen you truly scared. I don't think I mean, I've gone to haunted houses with him. I've been in experiences with him where it should be scary. I've been to movies with him, and I don't think I've truly ever seen you scared.
Yeah. That book can get to you. And I think you got to be locked in on it. Like if you're just like working or driving home or whatever. Yeah. But if you're actually just like, you know, sitting at home late at night, listening through it, and you get to that, you know, Massey scene or the, you know, the hedge animals and stuff, like there's some terrifying shit in that book, man. All right, so number 9 for the listeners, we've got John has Misery, Aaron has Pet Cemetery, Chris has Christine, and Baraki has The Dead Zone. So I will say that, like, and we'll get to it when we get to the very end, when we get to the stats and stuff. But it is kind of interesting to me that I do feel like there's a lot more shared in the 20th century.
21st is more divisive.
Well, or maybe that's not true. There's a lot more representation of like, or I guess the 21st century, there's more stuff that's like got way heavier representation. There's a little bit more spread in the 21st, or the 20th. But with the 20th, I just feel like there isn't as much diversity. There is a little bit more diverse. Like there's a few titles in the 21st. You're like, oh shit, that person picked that. But it feels like with the 21st, like, or the 20th, we're all just kind of, for the most part, we all kind of have.
It's just a matter of where we have it.
Yeah, for sure. And you and I, for instance, I believe it was. We've got. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shared on the 20th, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we actually share more on the 21st, but so that is theirs. Let's see, what do we got here? So we're gonna go number 9. We're gonna go with you first again. We'll just have you lead it. Maybe I'll lead the 21st century.
Okay, sounds good.
So let me click the button here, and it is one that we have shared. So it is
The Dead Zone,
which is my number 7.
Yeah.
So which is also mentioned by Baraki at this level. So you and Baraki match up there.
Yep.
Go ahead. I mean, for me, I fucking love this book. Dude. We just reread it this year, I think, for our Patreon stuff. And like, there was part of me was wondering, like, is it just that first time thing that really grabbed me about this book? Because sometimes it's like that one just really has you by the throat, and then you reread it. It's still good, but it just doesn't have that same. It was the same, and I was just like, I feel like I was reading, listening. I was listening a couple more hours per day than I would reading another book. It's such a great story.
I think this is one of those books that falls in line with what we talked about yesterday on our Patreon hangout, talking about The Long Walk. This is one of those books that has such a phenomenal section that I always forget about, and that's the fire.
Yeah,
the fire at the graduation party.
Yeah,
I always forget about that. Always forget about that.
Yeah.
And then when it comes up, it's like, this is so good.
Yeah, and the serial killer, I think I tend to forget about.
That's the other part. So there's like
so
much in this book.
I fixate on that early part where he's like he has the accident, he's recovering, and then I fixate on the presidential stuff. But like that whole middle section, like there's a lot that I forgot. And
that's honestly, that's the best part of the book.
Yeah,
like honestly, it really is,
and a bigger part. It is a huge. The Stilson
part.
Stuff doesn't actually. The movie it's way worse actually. The movie it's like the last 20 minutes before Stilson is even like a part of the whole thing. But even the book though, it feels like you're going away to like, I thought this is about Stilson.
Isn't this about him?
Like one of the first.
They introduced him earlier. Yeah. Like where is he?
Yeah, stomping a dog to death. Yeah. So what a way to introduce a villain.
One of the worst intros for a villain, because he's a piece of shit. So I'm not saying best.
Yeah,
one of the worst villain intros in the Kingverse. I think,
but good in the sense of like it was well done in the sense.
It's an amazing scene. But it's hard to listen to or read because poor puppy.
Yeah,
I love dogs. Don't know.
Yeah, I'd say your It book there has a much worse one in my opinion for the dog. The Hanlon's dog.
Oh,
I think that's way worse.
Oh no, getting kicked to death.
I think that's way worse. The It one's way worse for me. All right, so
Bowers and Stilson.
But the Dead Zone is great, and it has a great adaptation as well. But yeah, it's a great one for sure.
Absolutely.
Let me go ahead and find my button. Where are we at? Number 8? No, number 9. There we go. So my number 9, I put Different Seasons. Okay. So I'm not leaving off short story collections, Shawshank, the body, what's the there's 3 that are adaptations.
I thought we were doing novels, so I left off short stories. So
short story collections, it's
not a novel, it's a short story collection.
I think we just said King books, not novels. So
I think the original one was King novels.
And then the Breathing Method is the one that hasn't been adapted. What the hell is the third one? I'm blanking on it. They're all great, different. Someone in the chat's probably gonna get it right before I get it pulled up here, because there's 3 that have been adapted now. Apt Pupil, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Apt Pupil, one of the more disturbing King stories I think I've ever read overall. Very prescient in the modern day too, because I feel like Apt Pupil felt very much like a school shooter type, even though it wasn't a school shooter. Like it just had that vibe where it's just like, this feels like Clee Bolton Harris and Columbine. Like that feels like that kind of kid. And then Shawshank, and then the body, and then the Breathing Method, the one that's not been adapted yet. But I fucking love the Breathing Method, dude.
Yeah.
I was driving out to Wendover the first time I think I ever read that, because I think I'd bought like Shawshank, Apt People, in the Body back in the old days, like Barnes & Noble. I bought like single editions, which I always think is a ripoff now in retrospect. They actually just came out with the one for Life of Chuck. I'm like, that's a ripoff, man. Just get the collection so you get other stuff. But I think I did that, so I don't think I had ever experienced a Breathing Method until, in the last 5 or so years. And I was driving out to Wendover, which is like a 90-minute drive, and the Breathing Method, listened to it the whole way out, and I'm like, this is a fucking killer story, dude.
Yeah.
I want to see it adapted too. But yeah, so for me, I love this one. Adaptations, I try to put the adaptations aside and just look at the strengths of the stories. And I do love all these stories, even though you've got 2 of the greatest King adaptations that came out of this. I would say that Apt People is one of the more underrated adaptations as well. Nothing like seeing Ian McKellen playing a villain. That's a unique thing. Doesn't happen very often.
I still haven't watched the movie.
Yeah, it's
I still need to.
It's a good one. All right, so let's jump on over to number 8.
There's already popped up.
Oh, did I? Well, I just barely clicked it.
No, it was up the whole time you were talking about Different Seasons.
Oh.
I don't know why it came up.
It wasn't showing it on my screen.
Yeah,
that's weird. So they've got John has Gerald's Game, Aaron has Firestarter, Chris has The Dark Half, and Baraki has The Green Mile. So, definitely some good ones there. I still haven't read Gerald's Game.
I know. I don't know how. It's a Flanagan one, basically. It's like made for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched it. I just haven't read it.
Yeah.
So, and then Firestarter. Dark Half's one I really love. It is still one that I crown as my the singular King slasher. I do think there's a couple other
Yeah.
stories that get close. Black House, I think, feels very close to a slasher, but Dark Half's a full-on fucking slasher.
Absolutely.
So gotta love that as a diehard slasher fan. The Green Mile, definitely one that we'll be seeing again on the list throughout here. So, yeah, because that is a very popular one for sure.
Yeah.
I actually need to reread that, dude. I don't think I've reread it. I don't think I've read it pretty much since it was first came out as a collection. Because I remember buying it and I remember reading it right around the time of the movie. It was very close to. I can't remember if I read it just before or just after, but I don't think I've read it since. So like, and I know
That's
it's
a long time ago.
that is a very long time ago. Yes, we are very old
Yeah.
at this point now to say that. But yeah, I do need to hit that one. But it is a very good adaptation in the sense of there's not like a lot of crazy differences from the movie. So it's still like the story's still pretty fresh in my mind. But yeah, it is one that I need to pull the trigger and buy and actually reread for the first time in this century because I haven't read it since 96, 97.
I think
something like that.
I think I've only listened to it one time, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like Schindler's List is honestly the comparison that I always use with the Green Mile. It's hard to listen to, and
Yeah.
you have to like prepare yourself and be ready for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump on over to your number 8.
yep, my number 8 is The Girl Who Loves Tom Gordon, one that Tad still hasn't read.
Another one I haven't read. Yeah,
Perfectly
it's
made
true.
for Tad, but still hasn't read it.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of them like that for you.
I know, and I've largely not done a lot of reading this year. I'm not in the King
Yeah.
realm. I've done a couple rereads and stuff, but like I haven't really done a whole lot of new reads this year.
Yeah.
So I need to get back on that next year. Doom McKee's another one I need to
Yes.
read still. So that's on the 21st century side. But either way, there's a couple of them on there. I still got to read Tommy Knockers.
Don't bother. Just don't.
Oh, watch! I'm gonna end up liking it.
Oh god.
So tell us about the girl.
Oh, The Girl Who Loves
Because I
Tom
don't think this
Gordon.
would have been on your previous list. I don't
No.
know if this would have made the list if you included the 21st century in there.
Mm-mm.
So yeah,
This is one of those ones that definitely is on here because of the 20th century, because it is split. There's way too many heavy hitters in the 21st that would knock off The Girl Who Loves Tom Gordon. But it is high, not high, but it's it's 8 on my list because it is one of those books that is,
I mean, out of 70,
yeah,
it's on the top 10. It's high.
It's high.
So
it's one of those books that's I love the idea of the fascination is what keeps her going. The love for Tom Gordon.
yeah,
He's a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. That's what keeps her going.
yeah,
But then also this one, you're talking about horror with like The Shining. This one's got some good stuff in it.
yeah,
When it comes to a girl alone in the woods and there's a monster, like
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, and for sure, kind of like gives me vibes like potentially, from what I understand, just reputation wise, maybe Moonlight Man, similar, like in terms of the sense of very,
Yes.
very scary and off putting.
Yes.
So, but not a beast though. That's unfortunate. Out in the woods, that would be fun. You already confirmed to me it
is-
wasn't a beast.
It is not a beast. No.
That's unfortunate. We need more beasts than
No, we
Stephen
do not.
King.
No,
we need
do
some
not.
werewolves.
I mean, I still haven't read Cycle of the Werewolf.
Yeah, it's true because there's no audiobook too.
No, there's not.
That's a big one there. So, but you got a Gary Busey adaptation on the other side of it.
I have
So,
seen that.
Yeah, Silver
That's
Bullet.
Silver Bullet, yeah.
Yeah.
Kid in a wheelchair.
Yeah, so I think that that's what I need to do is actually think about what I want to actually hit next year. But I do think Doom McKee's very high on the list, and The Girl of Tom Gordon and Gerald's Game are all kind of ones that are kind of up there.
You know what
for
I'm going to
me.
do is next month when we plan our hangouts, I'm just going to start putting Gerald's Game, The Girl Who Loves Tom
You're
Gordon
gonna
on there.
force me into it.
I'm going to do it like Harry Potter with our other show. Just make
Yeah.
you do it.
Well, that's what I'm going to do with you with Better Call Saul next year.
It is. You are. Spoiler alert.
Oh, can't wait. All right, so for me, my number 8, did that go on there? Yeah, it did. Okay,
There it is.
The Wastelands.
Yep.
So
my number 5.
so my second Dark Tower book, and your number 5. So
My
threw
first Dark Tower book.
threw one on there. I will say,
But is it the lowest ranked Dark Tower book?
I do think that this is what. Well, it is for you, right?
No.
Or wait, on your list,
Number 7. I have a Dark Tower book at number 7.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We haven't revealed it. I was about to say,
Nope.
yeah, that's the first one you mentioned, but yeah, we're jumping up on yours
Yes.
because of me. So, it's funny to me, and I feel like I might get some heat on this because honestly, I think Wastelands might be one of the most popular books in the series.
It is.
like, if not the most popular.
It's got. I'll give you 3 reasons why it's one of the most popular. One,
a giant bear.
it's got the entire quartet for the first time.
Yeah.
It's got the introduction of the most beloved character in the entire Dark Tower series.
Well, he's in the second book
so
that he gets introduced.
No, not just Dark Tower, Palaver. The entire Dark Tower community adores that cute and fluffy boy.
Where he attacks a child.
You stop that slander. If I could get you to stop one thing, it would be that.
Viciously attacking.
Of all the shit that you pull with me, like the one you were pulling yesterday with Bill from It.
Saying that Bill was responsible for Georgie's death.
You weren't just saying responsible. You were saying willingly and knowingly sent Georgie to his death. You're
I think
twisting
you're twisting.
I will read the text again, Tad, because you said it, and I have proof.
I don't know. But yeah, I do love the Wastelands, though. It is, you've got the entire team together eventually, because Jake's not here until a good chunk of the way through. But I love the Jake half back in New York. I love like the entirety of the drawing of Jake. The Lud stuff.
The drawing of Jake and then the melding of fixing Jake and Roland's minds is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
part.
Like I think like at this point, like I of course love like I love book 2. It's the reason that we're here, and the reason I'm a big fan still is because of the book. I already mentioned it earlier. When he opens that door and sees a fucking 7 inside of a 777 or 737, whatever size plane it is.
Yeah.
Like that's when I was like bought into the series long term. So I love the third or the second book, but this book just is great because I feel like so much of what I like kind of like feel is like when I think of the Dark Tower is like just those like thoughts and feelings of what it is like come from this type thing, right? The whole group together. We get some of those campfire scenes. We get some pretty big moments.
The first time Eddie stands up to Roland, the first like, hey, stop dragging,
and
stop dragging
Susanna
us.
does as well.
Yeah,
she calls him out too.
Yeah,
so,
just like, hey, we're with you. Stop it. Quit leading us by the nose. We got this.
Yeah. Plus, we got Winston showing up here. It was his birthday.
The whole Lud scene.
The Lud stuff is great.
The Lud stuff is phenomenal. You get more world building with Roland's world, with the people of River Crossing and all that stuff. It's so fascinating and so world building. I'm actually kind of disappointed in you having it this slow because this is the first official introduction of Randall Flagg into the Dark Tower. Before that, we had suspicions, but no confirmation that it was Randall Flagg.
Until I get confirmation it's not, every person is.
I mean, that's
fine. People you would call a villain, of course.
I mean, he is a villain.
I just assume when somebody shows up, I'm like, oh, that's Flagg, and then if he gets disproven, I'm like, okay, it's not him.
Winston shows up, oh, that's Flagg. Blade shows up, oh, that's Flagg.
He's a wily little dude.
The deer that gets destroyed by Blade, oh, that's Flagg. What is he, Gary Oldman? He just plays everyone.
I mean, pretty close. That's why Gary Oldman would be a great Flagg.
He would be a phenomenal Flagg.
I assumed I might get some heat on this for sure. Because, like I said, I do think that if you were to, like, level it out, I do think, like, in my opinion, just being, like, having my finger on the pulse of things, like, online, as well as what we've seen over the years, I kind of tend to think that if you level it out across the board, I think 3 would end up at the top book, with 2 being very closely second. And you might see some people that flip-flop that. But, so, yeah, for me, I was like, man, this falls kind of lower on my list. I'm like, I might get a little bit of pushback from some folks on this, some guff, perhaps. So, let's go ahead and go on over to number 7. For the listeners, we've got John has the Talisman, Aaron has It, Chris from the UK has the Drawing of the 3, and then Brocky has the Gunslinger. So there we got some Dark Tower lining up here, starting to pop up. And it's funny because I don't think we haven't done a lot of lists that include the Dark Tower. So that's another huge wrinkle we've thrown in here.
As individuals,
yes. Because like we've always, I think every other, I don't know if we've ever done a top 10 before where we've actually let Dark Tower be split up. But when we're splitting the decades, like you've literally you've got 4 in one century, not decade. You got 4 in one and 4 in the other. So it's like you can't, because even if there were like if book 4.5 had never been published, you'd be like, okay, it's 20th century then, because 4 out of the 7 are in the 20th century.
And 5, 6, and 7 were written so close to the 20th century that you could just
I'm just saying you'd be able to call a tie if you wanted to like call a tiebreaker. You could do it that way if you wanted, but ultimately you can't even do that because book 4.5 Went to the Keyhole came out and gave us an exact perfect balance now to where we have well, we'll see what happens with Talisman 3 though.
Yes.
Because ultimately it's a talisman book, so we're never gonna be able to call it a Dark Tower book, but it'll be nice to revisit Midworld again. So, all right, so we've got
Baraki says, and you may label me as Baraki, parentheses, Utah.
Oh, really? I don't think I ever knew that.
I don't either.
I know we've had some Utah listeners over the years. We had some people talk about it and stuff. I think there's somebody on our list that's from Ogden on the Kautet count list and stuff. So, all right. So let's see, where are we at right now? We're at number 7, which mine is already showing because it's the dead zone. So your number 7.
Oh, he's in West Jordan.
Oh, nice. If you've told us that before, I've forgotten because, I don't know. That's awesome, though. All right, let's go ahead and jump on over to your number 7, which is going to reveal one of mine as well. And it is, go ahead.
The Drawing of the 3.
Which is my number
2. Oh, 6? Wow. That low for you?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised by that one.
Yeah, and I'm getting my mind thrown off here because I don't know why I still always think of my side on the left, even though I've been on the right-hand side of the screen for quite a while now. And pretty much since we started doing YouTube, but it's just habit.
Ever since that, I don't remember who it was, but that one fan was just pointed out, like, can you switch the cameras? Because Peter's looking the wrong way.
No, because I'm looking the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I look this way.
When we were looking at each other,
we
were on opposite sides, so we were looking off screen.
Yeah. All right, so a little shock from you that it's not.
I thought Drawing of the 3 would be a lot higher for you.
You thought it was my number 2? You said.
I thought number 2, and I thought number 1 was going to be The Stand, and then. Oh, no, I guess that doesn't make sense. So it'd probably be number 3 because number 2 is going to be Wizard and Glass, right?
We'll see. But, so Drawing of the 3, again, I've said it already this will be the third time I've said it, but this is the reason that we're here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not to say you wouldn't have eventually come around to the Dark Tower. Maybe you would have pulled me into it, but me getting pulled into it because, again, the Gunslinger was such a struggle for me. The second one, that first smidge until you get to that first door was even like, I mean, it's more of King's polished form, but like, this is a strange series. And suddenly open that was like, it was the batshit craziness of it where I was like, holy fuck, I am in until the end.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
I am fucking in. So I love this book. It's like, just like we were talking yesterday in the hangout about like ticking clocks with like the Running Man is the most overt ticking clock we have in any of King. We talked about book 4, but even this one has a ticking clock in the sense of it's more not necessarily a clock as much as like with the poisoning and stuff, right? Like it feels like you just can't fucking breathe in this book because there's just constantly, you've got to heel roll and you've got to like,
it's oh shit from the go.
Yeah, I feel like you just can never breathe during the entire course of this book. But I adore this book, so it's a little higher, higher for me than it is for you, but not as high as you thought.
By 1, so and that's the only reason it's down here is because the 6 through 1 are just absolute bangers for me. Drawing of the 3 is the same thing for me. It's what sucked me in. Like, I was intrigued by Gunslinger, but with Drawing of the 3, and it didn't happen as early for me. I don't know if I've ever really actually said this. Yours is, as soon as that first door opened and we see into the jetliner, you're like, oh my God, I'm in.
Yeah.
For me, it was when Detta and Odetta become Susanna that I'm like, oh, okay.
So it wasn't until the end of the book, pretty much.
It was pretty much the end of the book that I'm like, okay. And then they're like, all right, Roland's cured. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we're going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when I first time reading it, man, have I ever said this on the air? I honestly expected just Eddie and Susanna just to die.
Yeah, that's
I think
fair.
I've said
I don't know if
that.
you've said that or not.
I think I've said it before, but if I haven't, it's just like Roland killed Jake. Okay, and then he kills more
cannon
and
fodder.
so it's just like more cannon fodder. It's always going to be this guy alone by the end of the book, kind of
once
thing.
you get to Algo you're correct.
I mean,
too soon?
No, he wasn't alone at Algo Ciento. Thank you.
What's that? No, I'm just saying cannon. You said, more cannon fodder. I'm like,
I
yeah.
see.
That's what I'm saying. I thought I'd get more of a reaction out of you, but it's
I thought you were saying he would be alone. He wasn't alone yet.
No, yeah.
Not until Cancano Ray.
Yeah.
Then he was alone.
Yes. I was just making a bad joke about Eddie's
death.
Eddie's death.
Hey, there, we're talking about the ending almost.
Yeah, I knew it would come eventually. All right, so jumping on up to number 6 for the listeners. We've got John has The Wastelands. Aaron has The Shining. Chris has The Stand. Oh, my God.
Oh, calm down. Not everyone's such a fanboy as you.
And then Baraki.
I mean, I didn't get all butthurt when I saw Aaron having it at 7.
I guess that's true. But
calm down, Tad.
Stand.
Tad, calm down.
Besides,
Tad, calm down.
It's Flag's biggest thing. That should drive it to number one for everyone.
No,
so, yeah.
Not everyone is a simp for a Flag like you are.
Our lives for him. Our lives for him.
No, not our lives. Don't include me in this.
And then Baraki has drawing of the 3. So just a little bit. Well, no, we're lined up with me.
Same with you. A little bit higher than me.
Yeah, and then we've already hit mine with drawing of the 3, so it is now your number 6.
The King book with the worst adaptations of all time. I don't think there's any debate about this. As bad as the Langoliers special effects was, the Firestarter adaptations were still worse.
Yeah, there's a Lawnmower Man too.
That's true.
Lawsuit.
That's true.
Where King actually sued. Where it's like, take my name off that. That has nothing to do with my.
So
shit.
It's not a King adaptation then. It had nothing to do with King. He even sued to prove that. Firestarter is such a phenomenal book. It is so good. I'm
surprised it's this low for you. I mean, I know we're in the top 10 and whatever, but it has always been one of your favorites. I would have probably pegged it in like the top 3 or 4 would have been my guess. Just before getting your list sent in. So
it's hard to crack the top 5 of it, especially when you're breaking up the Dark Tower. That's the big thing is like you got some heavy hitters in Dark Tower.
No, 100%.
So if you didn't have Dark Tower, yeah, absolutely. It would slide up and it would absolutely be in my top 4.
Yeah.
So, like without the Dark Tower, it absolutely makes sense. But with the Dark Tower, it's hard.
Oh no, it's
hard.
This is a whole different challenge because we've always been able to just isolate Dark Tower into a single entry, and that's
and then there's even lists where we've done just like, oh, let's just exclude the Dark Tower. We know that we love it.
Yeah,
we know where it sits on.
And there's 8 books, so it's like if you do a top 10, you allow all 8 to be like whatever, like that you could legitimately have 80% of your list just be Dark Tower, and it's just I don't know. So we've always done that on purpose. So all right, so now we're moving to number
5.
Number 5
for the fans.
Let's go.
For the fans.
So John has different seasons. One that I had as well. Aaron has.
I looked it up, by the way, and I withdraw my objection to you using different seasons. I looked up the Collider article. It is books, not novels. My apologies.
Yeah, I think we've said books because
I thought we were doing novels.
No,
I apologize
because I specifically didn't want to say novels because I don't want to leave out because there are some great collections. So Aaron, which is a surprise for me, Desperation. I've never read it, but definitely not one that I tend to see that high. Which it's fine though. I love the
batshit crazy book. It is nuts.
Go on.
It is.
Dude, it is. I think nuts. I actually bought the 2 books last time when I was going because I went through and read most of the Bachman books, kind of in a run, and I think I ended up buying both of these because that's the last Bachman that I have yet to like, except for Rage. But I have yet to actually pull the trigger on reading either of these. And then Chris from the UK has It, and Baraki has Salem's Lot. And then we've got yours already on here for the Wastelands, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be my number 5. And I have Hearts in Atlantis. And I love it because I credit this show because it wasn't until like I enjoyed it ish the first time reading it, but when we reread it for our Patreon hangout, like this catapulted.
You were like a moth to a flame with that. You loved every second.
I think it's an absolute masterpiece of a book, and I think the first time, I think the reason I didn't enjoy it as much is because I don't think I had necessarily understood what the book was doing. Like the fact it was basically like a tapestry of multiple stories that are like converging and stuff. I don't think I realized that. I only think I caught on to a couple of the crossovers, not all of the crossovers that were there. So this is a masterful book, though. And as a Dark Tower fan, the Dark Tower elements of it are wonderful. So, it's a great one for me. All right, moving up to number 4, we've got John with the Green Mile, Aaron with the Stand, Chris from the UK with the Talisman, and Baraki with the Talisman. So getting some Talisman representation here, popping up, and I always love when I see like the titles because again, when I think about the statistics that come at the end, I'm always like, okay.
That's gonna be some good points for the Talisman right there.
Yeah, and then and then we got your number 4,
yes,
which is one of mine. So
where does it land?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, Wizard and Glass.
Wizard and Glass.
So I mean, we're in the middle of it in the book club now. We'll be done with it mid next year or early-ish next, whatever you call it, April-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
spring of next year.
As I'll say, it's not really early. It's not really mid. So yeah, it's
I
spring.
mean, it's second quarter, so
yeah.
But
so
it's the start of second quarter, so
yeah. But that's the thing. It's like second quarter doesn't really fall into early or mid. It's kind of between the two. So yeah,
early mid early.
But I just adore this book. I hated it the first time through, but I absolutely love it now. It's I think it's one of King's best stories he's ever told across the entire board. And yes, it's nestled inside the Dark Tower series, but it's just a masterful story. And going through the book club has been an absolute joy, just because it's like to see some of the details that we may not have noticed like all the way through. But it's a great story. Getting Roland's backstory, getting the finale of Blaine.
Figuring out that there's a ticking clock in the story within the story, kind of thing is awesome. The conclusion of Blaine is phenomenal.
Yeah.
His shining moment,
Yeah. Plus Ermont.
Disgusting.
A vile snake will never leave me.
I love the word vile. It's such a fun word. Terrible. Anything else you have to say on it?
I will say that honestly, Wizard and Glass probably wouldn't be this high for me if it wasn't for our book clubs. It would probably rank somewhere in the 7 to 9 range. But with us going through it and seeing all the intricacies and everything, terrible. Hashtag Baraki is terrible. I adore this book way more than I ever really truly realized. So that's why it cracks my top 5 and bumps down Firestarter. Is exactly what I was just talking about. It's like I have 2 Dark Tower books above it, Wastelands and Wizard and Glass. If I didn't have to do the Dark Tower, that right there is where Firestarter would be. And that's the reason why, is because Wastelands and Wizard and Glass are just so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you hit me on the higher spot. Well, I'm about to do the same to you, sir.
Yeah.
My number 5 is It.
You're number 4.
Or 4. I'm sorry, 4, yes. Number 4.
And is anyone shocked where it is for me?
No.
If anyone is shocked by that, you haven't been listening.
Yeah, exactly. You're the resident It expert. I do love It. It did make my top 4. But yeah, it's a great one for sure.
Dude, I've been craving it so bad for like 6 months, and I've just been forcing myself not to do it because I'm putting it on our Patreon for next year. We did a 2-parter for The Stand. We're going to do a 2-parter for It next year.
All right. Yeah.
And that's just my plan. It's just to hold off until next spring and read it, next summer and read it. And it is the best way I've ever seen someone tell a story, not in chronological order.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a better story not told in chronological order than It.
Yeah. No, it's
so good.
It's a good one. It's a good some good scares and stuff too. For
Absolutely.
Sure. All right, moving up to number 3, we've got Wizard and Glass from John, The Dead Zone from Aaron, The Wastelands from Chris, and The Stand from Baraki. So again, seeing a lot of repeat titles, which is normal, I think.
Yep.
And then we'll go with your number 3.
The hardest decision I had to make right here was my number 3 and my number 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie.
All right. Like I said, Carrie holds a special place in my heart. Bought it at Barnes & Noble, went home, started it at like 5, 6 o'clock at night, read straight through. It's even on my my memories. It's like I just read Carrie by Stephen King in one night.
Yeah.
All 400 and something pages of it. And it's just like it still is just like such a good read for me.
I need to revisit it. I don't remember when the last time I've read it is.
The back and forth with like the investigation and the witnesses.
Yeah.
And then what is Carrie doing and the story perspective of it is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
It's such a ballsy move for King to do for his first novel.
Yeah.
It's just like that's what you did. Like you could have done Salem's Lot, right? You could have done The Shining, but no, he does Carrie, and it's just, and also Carrie is just she's so fascinating to think about, like, what could have been if she didn't have her mom.
Yeah.
Like, if she had a normal family, what would Carrie have been?
An X-Men.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
You're a witch, Carrie.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome. And then
your number 3.
My number 3, The Shining. I've already kind of touted it a bit, but I adore this book. Outside of The Stand and the Dark Tower, it's my most reread Stephen King novel. I reread it way more than anything else. So, yeah, definitely.
Do their number 2s and their number 1s, and then we'll unveil the last because it's the same one.
Yeah. Let's do. All right, we'll do that. So we got number 2. We got John has Hearts in Atlantis. Awesome. Aaron has Salem's Lot. Chris has Salem's Lot, and Baraki has The Shining. So again, you're seeing some of the clustering of some of them there. And then John has It at number 1. Aaron has The Green Mile. Chris has The Wizard in Glass, and Baraki has It as well. So that is the number 1 and number 2 for the whole group here. We should probably make sure we're not too. We got to fixate on what time we've got here. We got about an hour to get through the.
And the 21st century is going to have some that we have not talked a ton about.
Not a ton.
Not nearly as much as these ones.
Yeah, and then so we got your. Let's see, my number 2 is already there, right? So
so my number 2, your number 1, which is of course The Stand.
The Stand.
I knew. You knew what my number 1 was. Yeah. I knew what your number 1 was.
I actually filled the slide out before you even sent me your list.
Did you really?
It's. I know what number 1 is. So
you've known me for over 20 years. You better know it.
Yeah, and then The Stand for me. I mean, yeah, it's logical.
You said it earlier. You read it every year.
Read it every year. It's my boy Randall Flagg's starring role. It's his biggest role for sure. Gotta love it.
It's his demise.
Bobby Terry,
absolute biggest failure because he's such a piece of shit. He can't even keep one town running.
He comes back. He comes back at the end, which makes it the happy ending that we all want.
Gross.
Bobby Terry getting his getting the teeth.
You messed up.
You
screwed up. That's what he said.
It's a great story though. So what do you think? Any surprises there overall? Just across the board.
Honestly, I wonder what my top 10 would look like if I went back and looked at the short stories collections because I didn't account for that. Maybe I'll do a short, seeing if there's any adjustments that need to be made on that. I'll reevaluate that and take a look at that and see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted.
All right.
But I don't think the different seasons is a bad choice, honestly. Like those 4 stories are so good.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. All right, so let's move on over to the 21st century. That works about right, actually. We have about an hour until
real fast before we do. Jeremy Quahart from Collider is the one that did this originally. I just want to remind everyone of what his top 10 was. His 10th, Salem's Lot; 9th, The Green Mile; 8th, Carrie; 7th, The Dead Zone; 6th, The Eyes of the Dragon; 5, Misery; 4, Drawing of the Three; 3, The Shining; 2, The Stand; and number 1, It.
Yeah.
So,
all you clown lovers.
We all float down here, Tad.
If Flag floats, he's able to disembody and float all over the place.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
And he actually floats too.
He levitates. He levitates. He doesn't float.
It's the same thing.
Flag should look into the deadlights.
Oh, he would destroy them.
No.
Yeah. Flag is eternal, sir. No. All right, so let's jump on over to the 21st century. We'll do the honorable mentions. So Aaron had a note here above both of his lists. So he said, I'm currently reading Billy Summers, but only a couple chapters into it so far. I'm interested in the duality of the main character and wonder how far King is going to push that. Hope you have a spooky Halloween, long days and pleasant nights to both of you. Aaron from Oklahoma. I almost said Kentucky. I don't know why. Yes, from Oklahoma. And then let's see. The only other note I have is on someone's number 1. So that's all I have to read. But we have our honorable mentions. So for me, wait, did I screw up?
Tad.
Let's see. Did I, because I mentioned earlier that somebody else screwed up.
Hearts in Atlantis.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's because it's the way that it's divided. I'm putting 2000, so on writing, I put on the 21st century. I know there's the whole thing of like... Shame. No, it's not a mess up.
Shame.
2000.
Shame.
No, 2000 is
Shame.
the 21st century,
Shame,
sir.
Tad.
It
starts in 2001?
No.
Shame.
There's a joke on that in Seinfeld. I never understood that.
Okay, honestly, I've never heard that before. Doesn't the century start on 2000, 1900, 1800?
That's what I would think.
Isn't that...
I don't know what the argument is, but yeah. So mine is on writing, and then You Like It Darker are my 2 honorable mentions.
First day of a year ending in 01. a century starts on the first day of a year ending in 01 because the calendar began with the year 1, not year 0. So the first century ran from year 1 to year 100. They're 100% right, Tad. I never knew that.
That's the first time I've ever heard it actually explained in that way. That actually does make sense.
There is no year 0,
but it's still wrong. So 21st century on writing. I do really love on writing a lot. So
Baraki says January 1st, 2021, because the first century started. Yeah.
Nah. Going back to the year 1, that's the first time I've actually heard that part of it mentioned, and that actually is the first time it's ever made sense. But it's still wrong.
I've honestly never heard that before. I always thought because Y2K, I thought it was the new century is the whole thing.
It was the issue of the fact that
the clocks wouldn't know what to do and everything like that. The computers would all rise up and destroy us, and I heard all the different things. But I always heard people saying it's the new century. I didn't realize that 2001 was the new century. I never heard that. I was in high school around then.
Although at the same time, though, when nobody was saying new century then. They were saying
Baraki said something could be correct but still be wrong.
But the other thing part of it is nobody was saying new century. Everyone was saying new millennium.
That's true. That's true. Which it would be a new millennium, but it wouldn't be a new century. Technically.
Nonsense.
Nonsense. Don't get technical with me.
Don't get technical with me.
My honorable mentions. Under the Dome, the Institute, and Finders Keepers.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that is the honorable.
Under the Dome is strictly here because what we've said the last few months.
I'm going to
I really think that we've been too harsh because of that.
Because of the series.
Abysmal.
I've never actually listened to it, so I need to actually buy the audiobook and give that another whirl.
And I have. I read it, and then I bought the audiobook, and I listened to it and loved it. Then the series came out, and I have not touched it since.
Yeah.
In fact, the only time I've ever loaded it up and started, I got literally to the woodchuck getting in half and went, nope, too much Too much PTSD there.
Although it's a cow in the series.
In the series, it's a cow, but in the book, it's a woodchuck.
Yeah, which King wrote that back in the 70s, he said. So that's fun. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into number 10 for the listeners. So we've got John has Revival. Aaron has Doomakey. And Chris has Wolves of the Kala. And Baraki has Black House. So... that is the number 10s. So what did I say? I'm starting off.
You're going first this time.
So let's see. That would be that's gonna jump one up really high on your list. Actually,
is it Billy Summers?
It is Billy Summers. My number 10. So
my number 4.
And honestly, you know what? It probably wouldn't have made my list if we hadn't done the Patreon hangout to reread it. I enjoyed it the first time around for sure. But I don't think I think it would have got lost in the shuffle a bit if we hadn't have done that reread this year. So it's fresher in my mind, and that did actually help push it up the chain a little bit more, because it is a great book for sure. Not as good as Later, but it's still.
I think that's the problem with Billy Summers for you, is that it came out the same year as Later.
But that's
and you just adore Later.
That's such a banger year, though. When you look back on it, that is a killer year for King.
It was.
That is a killer fucking year for King. So, I love Billy Summers. I do, like it was mentioned. Let's see, it was Aaron said that he's in the middle of reading it now. Like the character is very fascinating. The entire story that's being told is incredible. And I
cannot wait for an adaptation of it.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the very few things that King has written that you can literally take it and adapt it. Change nothing.
You don't have to change anything. Yeah.
Change nothing.
And with the writing thing, any of the internal monologue, you can do it as part of the writing.
Yeah, he's sitting there typing on the keyboard,
and then you have a voiceover where you can see what they're like. So it's
where someone's reading a letter.
It's got to be one of the easiest things to adapt for sure. So anything you want to say? It's much higher on your list. It's your number 4.
I love Billy. I love the story of it and everything. It's just, it's so good. So good.
And then you're going to hit one of mine.
Yeah. Is it number 4 for you? Please tell me it's number 4. Is it higher?
It's number 5.
Oh,
so
wow.
Not far.
I kind of expected that to be in the top 3, honestly, the way you talk about it.
It's a great one.
Let's
say it's Later.
It's Later. Yeah, I guess we should say that. I think rereading it this last year for me, I reread it. It's better than I remembered, which is why it makes my top 10 instead of an honorable mention, which is probably where it would have been. Maybe not even that before. Yeah. But I reread it this year, and
I think you could adapt this one pretty much straight up too. Like both King 2021 books, I think you could just adapt straight up.
Absolutely.
And like go into the gore, go into the violence. We just saw The Long Walk. We've seen how violent like they're willing to do things. Give me just straight up adaptations of both of these, and I think they do a great job. So
absolutely.
For me, I still love it for sure. Yeah, top 5. That's not and this is like one of those fun things, because I don't know that Billy Summers or Later would have made either of our top 10s if it was both decades combined, or both centuries combined. So I think that's where I love this, is because now we get to see like what actually makes these lists when you actually kind of split it out. So let's go ahead and hit the listeners number 9. So listeners number 9, we got Full Dark No Stars from John, which I still haven't read actually. Later from Aaron, Lizzy's Story from Chris from the UK, and then Song of Susanna from Baraki. So got some good picks there. I do still need to hit Full Dark. See, every time I go through these kind of things, I'm like, God damn it, there's another one I haven't read. But I'm also like slowing down, because I'm like, I don't want to get to that 100% to an extent, because like once I do that, like now I'm completely beholden to like new writings, and it's
eventually there will be a point where you read your last new king.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, exactly. So I will say that did slow me down, because I was hitting it pretty hard there for a number of years, and I was doing my whole rule where I wanted to read at least one new book or 2 new books for every reread. But I completely threw that window, because I'm like, dude, I'm getting too close to the end here. So, but yeah, Full Dark No Stars. I actually think I bought that one too at one point, but then just as I was about started, I realized I just wasn't in the mood for short stories. I feel like you kind of got to be in the mood for short story / novella collections, and I just wasn't. So I think it's in my collection too. I just haven't circled back around to it. So all right, so let's go on to my number 9, right? And it's actually one of your higher ones, Mr. Mercedes sense. Yeah. So, I love Mr. Mercedes. It's higher for you, but
not too bad. Mine's number 7.
Number 7, but
say.
But it is a little bit higher. But yeah, I love Mr. Mercedes. I think it's a killer book. It was also a great book, because I feel like before that, King had not done a shitload of books that were completely straight up. No, there's not a lot of supernatural elements going on. There's a very small tease, the very final couple pages of Mr. Mercedes, but I would say you could largely say the book is almost entirely a real world
detective
book that
novel.
Could happen. It could really happen. And of course the sequels get a little bit more out there, but which is fine. That's what we expect from King. But I loved Mr. Mercedes for what it was. I love the characters. Of course, down the road we've ended up growing some of these other characters out quite a ways. But this is our introduction to Jerome, to Holly, to Bill Hodges. I do think Brady Hartsfield's an incredible character, incredible villain.
Even the partner, Lizzie Jane.
Or there's a number of
Izzy, yeah. Izzy is she becomes a bigger one in Holly and Never Flinch.
Yeah.
So, we get introduction to characters that a decade or more later
still popping
up and still developing and still becoming you know.
And that opening scene, one of the more brutal King scenes we've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
that's up there in the
That's up there with
the most. Now that'd be an interesting top 10 list. Most brutal Stephen King scenes. Maybe that's a March Insanity. Actually, we should throw that on the list.
Most brutal Stephen King moments.
Yeah, top 10 most brutal King moment scenes. It means the same thing in that sense, right? Like,
where's my list? There it is.
So but I think that would be on that list for sure. Like that would be in the nominations, because that is a fucking insanely brutal scene, dude. I actually had a coworker at one point that's parents were watching the adaptation, and he happened to walk in for that scene.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear the end of it till he stopped working with me. He left the company. For years later, he'd be like, dude, you're a fucking Stephen King fan. I don't get it, man. Because he saw that scene in the adaptation. And the adaptation is not even as bad as the fucking book is. So.
No, the book's much worse.
Oh, man. Anything else you have to say on Mr. Mercedes?
Oh, just the introduction of Bill Hodges. I love Bill.
Yeah.
I really do. And then obviously Holly.
Yeah.
Goes on to be one of the most prolific Stephen King characters of all time.
She's getting there.
She's pretty close.
She's getting pretty close to surpassing Roland here.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we've covered it or not, but King may have recently teased that another Holly book might be on the horizon. So, we're going to be getting to a point here pretty soon where Roland is he's second
fiddle.
His heels are getting nipped at here. Yeah. So, all right. So, let's jump on over to number 8.
My number 9. You go first, then I do my number 9.
Or hold on. Because you haven't done your number 9 yet. Let me get the listeners one off. There we go. Because I forgot I clicked theirs. So
it didn't show up for us.
No, because I hadn't changed the slide yet. But so your number 9 is
Fairy Tale.
Okay. And this one I enjoyed, but like I feel like I need to read it again because I don't think I was fully in the mood for it. So I don't think I have the love for it. I don't think you're the only one that mentions it. So yeah, just from my perspective though, I do think I need to wait till I'm actually in the mood and revisit this one because I liked it. I enjoyed it. I read it pretty quick and stuff, but I think there was just a smidge of just like, it wasn't the itch I was feeling that was scratching.
How I know that I like a Stephen King book is when I go, yeah, I'm going to enjoy rereading this as soon as I finish it. Maybe not right away, not like we did with The Institute, but when I finished Billy Summers and I went, I file Stephen King books into one of 4 categories. That's a constant reread. That's it. The Outsider, Mr. Mercedes trilogy, Billy Summers, 11/22/63. There's the if I'm in the mood for it is like, no, if I'm not as often, but pretty frequently.
Yeah, the next category
would be my next category would be stuff like Christine, and all those other ones like that. That's where Fairy Tale feels like it should lie.
Okay.
And then if I'm in the mood for it, Cujo, Pet Sematary, The Shining. That's where The Shining falls for me. That's why it's an honorable mention. And then there's the oh my god, I'm never touching this again category, and that's Tommy Knockers. That's the only one in there. Everything else is in those first 3 categories. Oh. I introduced that 4th category simply because it is the Tommy Knockers. So
oh man, that's great.
I swear to God, if you ever make me reread that, Tad, I will have my vengeance, and it will be making you do a top 10 movies of all time list.
I love that you use that as a threat.
I will. I will. I will make you do it. If you make me reread Tommy Knockers, I will absolutely make you do a top 10 movies of all time on Geekery Abides. Because I choose my topics on my shows. You have no veto power. We never established veto power.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I could have some vengeance as well. So number 8 for the listeners got Everything's Eventual for John. Aaron has Leezy's Story. Went Through the Keyhole from Chris from the UK, and End of Watch for Baraki. So definitely. And again, I feel like the kind of what I was saying though is what you'll kind of notice as we go through this. There are definitely some ones that you see repeatedly, but I feel like there's a little bit more diversity. There's just less. I don't know. I guess it's hard to say because the weird part about it though is I feel like most of the diversity is in the lower section. When you get to the higher part of the 21st century, when we actually pull up the chart, you'll see what I'm getting at. Okay. So, so that definitely some good picks there. Everything's Eventual, good Dark Tower connection there. I still need to finish the Leezy Story adaptation. That's actually the original reason I ever signed up for Apple.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought Ted Lasso was.
No, I did it for that, and then it's like, oh, well, now I have Apple, I can watch Ted Lasso. So no, it was Leezy Stories, 100%. I mean, I'm a King guy, so
makes sense.
Yeah, Went to the Keyhole. Gotta love some Beasts, gotta love that.
Nope, no, I don't.
All right, so it's my number 8.
Yes,
and it's one not on yours because of your interpretation here. If It Bleeds, kind of like different seasons, like. We've had adaptations out of most of these stories now, and or is it all now? Rat's coming now because they just
Ben Stiller, right?
No, because that was pre-COVID. Yeah, and then he has the Severance show, but it was the new announcement that we have the new people on it.
Right.
So
right.
So it's Mr. Harrigan's Phone, Life of Chuck, Rat, and then and If It Bleeds, I guess we don't have an adaptation for, but that'll be a tough one to get an adaptation for, I think, because we need someone that's already done the Holly stuff probably, because I feel like now that's so like serialized and it's like I don't know if you can just straight up adapt If It Bleeds. I feel like that would be like a new season of Mr. Mercedes.
It's where The Outsider season 2 is.
That's where it should have been. Yeah, that's where it should have been for sure.
But If It Bleeds hadn't come out yet, had it?
No,
it came out shortly after.
I think they announced it to where it was like when they were talking about the second season. I'm like, cool, they got their asses set for a new season if they wanted to for The Outsiders. So, it's unfortunate because that may be one we never necessarily see adapted. So, then we got your number 8. All right, it is.
Sorry, looking something up. 1 second.
Well, I'll throw it out there then.
Yeah.
Your number 8's End of Watch.
Oh, yeah.
So-
The end of the Bill Hodges.
Yeah.
So, one below Mr. Mercedes. Finders Keepers is weird. I will say that. Not on my list. Right?
I enjoy all three of them for sure.
I do too, but it's just like, it's kind of weird because it's not Brady. So it kind of was
It's not
a little
Brady.
bit...
Hodges doesn't show up till it feels like halfway through the book before you actually pull him in.
Yeah,
so.
it's kind of weird, but End of Watch, full on Brady Hartsfield. You get the supernatural element way more, like you were saying earlier, but you get the conclusion, the end of Watch, if you will, you know, and everything, and it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, number 7 for the listeners. We've got John has Fairy Tale. Aaron has Blaze. That's actually one I really enjoyed too. So is Chris from UK has Joyland, which I actually really love that one too. I had some difficult choices for sure on mine, and then The Outsider for Baraki. So that is some good stuff there. Joyland is one that, and that's one that I circled for a long time before we finally actually dove in, because I think we did it. Did we read it together or no? I think you had read it and I finally read it. But yeah, it's one that I think I'll end up revisiting quite a bit because I really enjoyed it.
Straight up mystery.
And Blaze is a great one too.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it Of Mice and Men? Is that what it's kind of a riff on?
I think so.
Like I think that's I'm forgetting high school English class.
Mice and Men's the big dumb guy who kills the lady, and he has his smart friend.
Yeah. That's yes. All right. So my number 7, jumping up here, I've got Song of Susanna. And I will say to start, I feel like my love of this book was kind of the punk rock nature of just everyone shitting on it. And I'm like, I think people are being really unfair to this book because I really don't think it's that bad. And so and I've teased it at one point. I want to just read it out of context so I could really just have a really clear. But every time I've read it since, like coming onto this idea, I've really started to like delineate the lines for this book. And dude, some of my favorite moments of this tail end of the series is in this book. So like, I love it. I do love the different structure too, like the song, like the what is it? Not verses, or is it verses? Like the chapter titles are like actual, like they're listed like song related.
I think so.
Yeah, and sonnets is in my head, but it's not sonnets. There's like a
limericks. No,
but either way, I just love it. It's just you could just see King sometimes just like, wanting to challenge himself. But there's just some great moments in this one. And like I said, originally around, I started like, touting this one a lot more, just being kind of a punk, just kind of like to kind of challenge people that are like, I think being unfair to this book. But then like the more I paid attention, I think my last 2 rereads of the series, I really tried to pay attention to like what was in this story. And like, I'm like, dude, some of my favorite fucking things are here. I love it. It's a great book.
Yeah. The problem I always have with Song of Susanna, and the reason why it doesn't make my top 10 or my honorable mentions, is that it just comes down to that I feel like everything that I think happens in Song of Susanna doesn't. Like, every time I think about Song of Susanna, I'm like, oh yeah, the showdown at the Dixie Pig is in it. Oh yeah, Roland and Eddie getting back to Jake is in it. And that when they get reunited, that's the end of book 6. And then I remember every time I read it, I'm like, wait, Jake's walking into the Dixie Pig. Like, you can't stop there. Like, what the hell is this? Like, every single time, which is why it's just like, yeah. It has some amazing scenes in there. I'll tell you right now, one of my all-time favorites is one of Eddie's, is the absolute
stanzas.
Stanzas. That's it. The absolute thrashings that he puts on Calvin Tower is some
plus
of my
the Stephen King
stuff. Then you get all the Stephen King stuff, which I understand some people don't like it.
Again, I fell in love with this series truly deeply with our Roland that had been this weird other world looking into our world into a plane. So how much more batshit can you get? Well, Stephen King showing up as a character as the writer of the Dark Tower series too. Like it's not just
some random Stephen King. It's not an alternate reality Stephen King. It's the Stephen King that is writing the story of the character who is talking to Stephen King. How much more meta can you get?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
and I get it's going to rub some people the wrong way, but for me, I fucking adore it. So yeah, that is my number 7. Or wait, is that number 7? Yeah. Then Mr. Mercedes. Yeah, because I already revealed that from my list. So moving on to number 6. For the listeners here, we've got The Dark Tower for John, the book 7, of course. Aaron with 11/22/63. Blaze from Chris from the UK, so got another Blaze appearance, and then Mr. Mercedes from Baraki. So, some good ones there. I will say the Dark Tower was gave me some challenges on the slide here, just trying to fit it in there. So I just abbreviated TDT and then cold, and then I put a word or two beyond that to kind of differentiate which one. I guess I could have just done the Roman numerals and just gone like Rocky. So
the Dark Tower, Song of Susanna, SOS.
Yeah, SOS could have done that, but
Wizard and Glass, W.
Yeah, I think I'm like that. I think I just did like Wizard. I think I just did Drawing. I think I just did, but I did do Dark Tower for Dark Tower. So and then we've got our number 6 shared.
Oh, we share it?
We did line up with The Outsider. So
fantastic.
It is a great one. And Chris from Australia is dropping his list into the chat.
I was going to wait till the end to read his.
Okay, well, I'll catch up at least to where we're at. He's got Went Through the Keyhole at 10. You Like It Darker, specifically in parentheses, as because of Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream.
It's such a good story.
It is really fucking good. I've actually been like circling a reread on that whole thing just because of Danny Coughlin.
I might just pull it up just to read Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream,
which is what I actually did with Life of Chuck. Like I think it was like right before the movie. I was like, I'm just rereading Life of Chuck from If It Bleeds. Then he has You Like It Darker, number 8, The Outsider, number 7, Later. And then where are we at right now? 6. So he did do, and his 6 is The Dark Tower. So, and then our number, so number 6 for us is The Outsider. I mean, I remember when Holly showed up, texting you immediately, Peter, I don't care what the fuck your priorities are. You need to download or buy and download The Outsider right now and tell me when you get there. Cause I didn't even tell you what it was. I'm like,
nope.
I'm like, cause I knew. I'm like, and the instant he gets there, he'll know. Cause because the end of Watch felt like that was the close of the chapter. That was the end of it. So
and if Hodges is gone, we're never going to see any of the other characters again.
No.
Like where would they show up? They wouldn't show up in any other story. That doesn't
maybe
make
a
sense.
short story, but certainly not in the middle of a fucking completely other novel, seemingly.
Yeah.
So,
I remember exactly how it went down because you were like, hey, did you get The Outsider? Because it had just released. And I was like, I don't think I picked it up on pre-order, but I think I have a credit. And you're like, get it now. And then like you just said, when you get there, let me know. And I'm like, when I get where? And you're like, you'll know. And I went, okay. And I downloaded it. I literally stopped the book that I was reading. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I literally stopped the book that I was reading, bought it, downloaded The Outsider, and started it the next day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think we were working together at the time, or maybe we weren't. And I was like,
no, you text me.
I was texting you. I was texting you. That's what it was. We weren't working together at the time. And I text you and I'm like, dude, I'm like 4 hours in. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you're like, keep going. Just keep going. And then I got there and I think I sent you in all caps, Holy! With like 18 exclamation points and everything. And you're like, I know.
And what a story too, man. Just like, cause when you're like sitting there trying to like solve it like a mystery a bit. And it's just like, it makes no fucking sense. Like what the hell is going on?
And the best part is this is the reason why Billy Summers and The Outsider are on my list is I love Stephen King starting us one way and then giving us that swerve.
Yeah.
Like Billy Summers starts off as it's an assassin story, and then it's a revenge story.
Yeah.
And then The Outsider is it's a mystery. It's a supernatural, oh fuck, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
no, it's incredible.
It's bonkers.
And the adaptation
so good.
Is insanely good. Yeah, insanely
I need
good.
to rewatch that. That's one that's going on my list for rewatches.
Yeah.
When my wife's schedule changes and we're able to watch stuff at night again.
Ben Mendelsohn he's a peach. I love him so much.
I love Ben Mendelsohn.
All right, so let's go on over to number 5 for the listeners. We've got If It Bleeds from John. We got The Wolves of the Kala from Aaron, and then The Dark Tower from Chris in the UK, and then Dr. Sleep from Baraki. And then what did I say, number 5? And Dr. Sleep from Chris from Australia. So couple repeats there on Dr. Sleep. So some good ones for sure. Again, If It Bleeds, Wolves of the Kala making its first appearance. No. I'm sorry. We had it at number 10.
Chris from the UK.
Yeah, I had it there. So not the first appearance there. The Dark Tower's already showed up, but maybe is it our first Dr. Sleep appearance?
I believe so.
It might be, yeah. So, some good stuff for sure. All right, so then it's me number.
Nope, my number 5. Your 5's already revealed.
Oh, that's right. All right, so your number 5 is.
Yeah, and my number 5 is Dr. Sleep. We were just talking about it.
And that's what I'm saying about the 21st. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of align with like where they fit.
Yeah.
Like there's more alignment, I guess, and you'll see it when we actually pull up the chart here in a bit. But yeah, what do you have to say about Dr. Sleep? And I'll just tell you a spoiler alert: it's not on my list.
What the fuck?
Didn't make my list.
Shame. Shame. Go to hell, Powers.
Peter's just
I cannot believe that you're that wrong. That is shocking to me, Tad. Of all the times you've shocked me with your
This is certainly the latest one.
this is the worst one. How do you not have Dr. Sleep on your top 10? Not even in the honorable mentions.
That's true. I guess I could have done an honorable mention. I think in both of mine I ended up with 2 honorable mentions. I'm not sure if I restricted myself or what, but I don't know. Yeah.
I can't believe you. With how much you're touting about The Shining in your last the 20th century one.
Yeah.
To shit on its sequel.
I'm not shitting on it. It just doesn't make the top 10.
Not in the top 12. It's not in the top 12. You're saying at best it's 13th best book by Stephen King. You put a collection of short stories over Dr. Sleep.
It's a great collection.
It's not as good as Dr. Sleep.
It's a great collection, sir.
I'm sorry, no.
You know what I think what it comes down to?
When you come to a point in the 4 stories of the short story collection and you go, wow, that story was not very good. I did not enjoy that. And then to say that Dr. Sleep is worse than that? Tad.
I mean, you're talking some great other stories in that collection. But here's what it comes down to, I think, and it's a very unique thing, I think, is ultimately I think Flanagan did such a better job because I think some of the stuff, I think the being related to Dan was just, that's not, or Jack, I don't like that at all. I think that's dumb. I think that's just it's just too convenient. It's like the whole thing in like where it's like, you know, in Star Wars, every black character is related or everyone thinks they are, right? There's always the fan theories. Oh, Mace Windu's going to be like the whatever. It's like, dude, is there one black person in this entire none of them panned out, but they luckily cut the whole episode 9 character to not being Lando's granddaughter or whatever, but that was originally in the script. So, you know, but it's that kind of thing. I feel like it made the world too small. Like I didn't like that element of it. I don't think and I get King destroyed the Overlook, so there's no way he could have brought it back. But I just don't think it's as compelling at the tail end as Flanagan did. I just think it's kind of like one of those things, like kind of like Darabont. I've said with like The Mist, everything that Darabont changed, in my opinion, made it better, and including those small changes, not just the ending.
But that doesn't take away from what The Mist is, though. And you're letting it detract from the novel, the fantastic novel that King wrote.
Oh, it's great for sure.
No, it's not. It's not even top 12. That's mediocre.
No,
you're sitting here saying that it's mid.
No, I don't know about
Tad.
that. I don't know about that because let's see. I'll even cut it to 2001. Stupid thing. It always tries to do some, which because 11/22. So there's 36 of them, sir. So that would mean it would still be in the top.
That's
half,
around
easily.
mid. That's not the top half, but it's closer to half.
No, 36, not 26.
Yes. 36.
So
what's half of 36?
So even if it were 13.
13. It's at least 13. It's below that probably because of the way you're talking about it.
No, I just didn't put I didn't put a second or third honorable mention. So
exactly. So you have 12 novels here. So if Dr. Sleep is 13, it is literally mid.
I don't know.
It's like right there with the mid stuff.
If it were
that mid section,
if it were 26, then that's way mid because it's literally the middle. I will say
that novel is so good.
Whenever I can get to, and I will say I actually think that our reread that we did for this actually made me enjoy it less to an extent because again there's those elements of it that are just. And again, I get it because like King wrote the novel he wrote with The Shining, so he doesn't have the ability to like do what Flanagan did. But it's just like I do think that Flanagan just made it's a rare thing, right? But it's like even out through all pop culture, ones where like the movie's better than the novel is very rare. There's probably a
5,
10 maybe,
if that,
10 maybe. But usually when it comes down to on ones that are like that, it's the stuff that the film people ended up leaving on the cutting room floor or adapted or changed in some way. And I think that Flanagan I think it may have actually been, if we hadn't ever gotten an adaptation, it may have even been my top 10. But I think Flanagan just showed how much, like, he just did so much better with it that I love when I can surprise you, not even intending to, or upset you too, because you're
the next time he says my life for Rose the Hatter, I would do anything for Rose the Hatter. Obviously not.
Now I will again though. I do think Rebecca Ferguson. I don't know if I loved Rose the Hat as much until Rebecca Ferguson brought her to life, and I was like, oh
Tad's
my god.
over here letting the adaptation affect his love of a novel. That's hashtag Tad is terrible. That's shame on you. That's shame on you.
Outside of shaming me, is there anything you wanted to say about it?
I mean, it's phenomenal. It's top 5 of the 21st century. Obviously, it's the greatest sequel the King's ever written.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Drawing in the 3?
No. Dr. Sleep, following up The Shining with Dr. Sleep and the way the Dr. Sleep read, and introducing one of the most sadistic and evil groups that King has ever created in the True Knot. Getting a wrap up with Jack and everything like that at the end, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Rose the Hat is one of the most evil, vile creatures that we've ever seen in the King Pantheon. She's up there rivaling Flag and Pennywise for truly terrifying. And she doesn't get the credit that she deserves, obviously.
No, again,
give her credit.
No, I give her plenty of
credit.
credit.
Give King credit, sir. That is the best sequel he's ever written.
No, the Dark Tower stuff for sure. Because every Dark Tower thing counts as sequels.
It's not a sequel. It's a series. You write a series or you write a sequel. Like the Mr. Mercedes 4 books, right? Like there's 4 books in that. The Outsider is not a sequel to Mr. Mercedes. It's a series.
It's funny that went from the Hodges trilogy, now it's just the Holly.
It's the Holly Gibney. Yeah, like Never Flinch it's the Holly Gibney. It's not the Hodges trilogy anymore. It's the Holly Gibney saga.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's not a sequel.
Yeah. Chris from Australia says, Tad, I gotta say your Dr. Sleep points are valid. Flanagan performed pure magic with his adaptation.
But that doesn't, just because he performed magic doesn't mean you have to take away from the novel.
I think sometimes it does though. And I don't think it does it. I know it does though, because like in The Mist with Darabont, like him not just randomly fucking this lady, not knowing his wife is dead, like that is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And it drags that story down for me. The fact that like, I think I actually read it after the adaptation, but it's like the fact that it was even in there, I'm like, so I do think sometimes, and maybe if I had read it first, it wouldn't have bothered me as much. It probably would have though, because again, it's just like I don't understand. Like, you don't know your wife is. We know your wife is dead, but like you don't know that. But like,
I mean, he's trying to get back to her the entire story.
Yeah, exactly. So you just sleep with this chick. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's the whole thing that like the 70s and 80s people are a little bit looser with their marital vows or something. But like,
I mean, I think it goes back to the what we were talking about earlier with the Cuban Missile Crisis. He thought he was fucked.
Yeah,
so might as well fuck.
Yeah, and the thing is, what I'll say though is I think that like the reason I said it would have made my top 10 before the adaptation is because I don't think I necessarily would have recognized the weaknesses that I recognize until Flanagan did it. And it's not even just the Overlook, because I would mostly throw that one out, but it's some of the other stuff that it's just like, I think Flanagan just made such a fucking tight, and especially the director's cut too. Every time I hear someone that watches it new and they watch the regular, I'm like, damn, like watch the director's cut. Don't watch the
I don't think I've ever even seen the director's cut still.
Oh really?
No.
Oh, it's a masterpiece. So again, I love these lists though, because there's always one time that one of us shocked the other one, and I don't think we're doing it on purpose, but it just happens.
I think you're doing it on purpose. You just want to see me riled up. You like it.
I mean, usually yes. So, all right. So we got let's see. We're going to number 4.
The Fan's number 4. Yeah.
Oops, there we go. I push my button and sometimes it changes my screen. Actually, I don't know what it just did. Did it close my tab?
Uh-oh. Theirs came up.
There we go. Yeah, it came up. But when I'm selected on my window, the hotkey that I program in can sometimes fuck with my actual like internet, and apparently it closed my tab. So I was able to reopen it though. All right, so we are at number 4. Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
John has Dr. Sleep. Aaron has the Dark Tower. Chris from the UK has Billy Summers, and then we have the Dark Tower from Baraki, and then Chris from Australia in the chat has Billy Summers at number 4. So
that's 3 of us who have Billy Summers at number 4.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's like not necessarily that it's not that it's like there's more diversity, but it's all lower, and I feel like everyone lines up with each other more in the 21st than it does the 20th. So it's just an interesting thing for sure. And then we got my number 4 because yours has already been revealed.
Yep.
Wait, that's you. It's got the wrong picture.
Baraki, you need to read Billy Summers. It's fantastic.
All right. So number 4 for me is Revival.
Yeah.
Revival is just I love everything about it. I mean, the ending is kind of like the Mist movie where you're just like the fucking ending. But I think the whole thing, though, the fact that you're crossing across almost an entire lifetime for a person is incredible. Like the crazy Frankensteinish type magic, like pseudoscience, like just everything about this book is just fucking great. And I wish we could see a fucking adaptation of it because I think it could be
it's the hardest thing to adapt.
Yeah.
I think Dark Tower's second.
I think series. I think it's more adaptable than Dark Tower, but I think everyone that tried to adapt it so far has been a movie, and the budget becomes insane when you have to cross 40, 50 years, and then
you got to talk about aging someone up or down one way or both.
Yeah,
you know.
But I think if you did a series, I think you've got more built-in like ability to like.
You do like the House of the Dragons. You recast.
Yeah, recast. And I think you could probably get away with like doing old man makeup and just basically have like the main character as a kid as an actor, and then it jumps up to where he's like the adult, and then the adult you could just use makeup and special effects to age him all the way through the old man.
You make him younger first, and then you have him be
or you cast like a 20-something-year-old and then age him up throughout, you know. So
one of the two.
It's an incredible story, though. I mean, you've got a lot of like normal King things. You got like addiction. You've got like substance abuse. There's all these kind of things that are there that just feel like quintessential King. And I think just overall, it's just an incredible story. But I will say, in a way, it does sometimes feel like it gets kind of outshined by its ending, kind of like The Mist. The Mist is a brilliant fucking film.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about anything but the ending. And I think that the Revival's King's version of that, where it's like everyone just fixated on the ending, where it's like, don't lose the fact that there's a great fucking book here, man. Like
story.
There's a great story being told. So
yeah,
that's my number 4. All right, so now we're moving up to number 3. I'm gonna get off my thing so it doesn't close my tab again. Number 3 for the listeners, we've got Black House for John. We've got Dr. Sleep from Aaron, 11/22/63 from Chris from the UK, and Under the Dome for Baraki.
Yeah.
And then Chris from Australia has number 3,
Wolves of the Kala.
Wolves of the Kala. So
I can read his out to make it a little bit easier on you.
Okay. Well, it's me. I just start jumbling the numbers where I'm like, wait, what am I looking at, 2 or 3? Like, So, got some good ones there. Black House, the other potential slasher in the King realm.
Yeah.
And then we got, Dr. Sleep showing up again, 11/22/63. Is this our first appearance of 11/22/63?
Aaron has it at number 6.
Okay. Wait. Does he? Or wait. Oh, Aaron.
Aaron.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Looking at the wrong column. Okay. Yeah. No. Correct. All right. And then we've got number 3 here. So for me, number 3. Get my button pushed here, and it will reveal one for you. Wolves of the Kala.
Oh yeah, my number 1.
Your number 1.
My number 1.
So we got a lot of cross pollinating the rest of the way here. So I love Seven Samurai. I love this Magnificent Seven. Yes. I don't think I enjoyed this book the first time I went through as much. Like it was fine, but I don't think I appreciated it because I think I ended up really coming around to like watching the Seven Samurai after reading this, and then watching the Magnificent Seven is like an element of like, oh, they remade it as a Western. Let me watch that. And then next time I reread it, I was like, holy fuck, dude, this book fucking rocks, dude.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed it overall, but I think I missed so much of like really what King was doing as almost a tribute to those stories that I don't know that I had truly seen before reading this. I had probably seen like scenes of Magnificent Seven as a kid because that's just like the uncle watching a Western. Like that's just one of those uncle or in your case dad movies that just gets watched. So
the big thing for me why it's number one is I absolutely
and Callahan. Callahan is
that's a huge
massive fucking. It's one of my favorite parts of the series is the Callahan showing up and then his whole story beyond
Highways
Salem's
and Byways
Lot.
of America. Yeah,
it's some of the strongest stuff in the series for me.
Good.
So sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
Callahan,
the thing for me with Wolves that I absolutely love is we get to see a win. Like an absolute win, not a partial win, not a kind of win.
Yeah,
not a oh fuck, we're trapped in a world now where the plague has happened. We killed Blaine, but what the fuck now?
Yeah,
this is like a win.
Yeah,
and then Susanna goes off. It's like fuck. It's like god damn it. It's like always something with King, isn't it?
Yeah,
but the thing with this one I love is that we get to see a lot of character growth, and we finally get to see Roland be a true gunslinger of Gilead.
Well, we unfold more of what that means.
Yes.
Because, like, I think we had already seen him be a gunslinger in some of the aspects.
We saw him be, like, just, like, partly, exactly.
Some of the aspects.
The badass massacres Tull. The diplomat at River Crossing.
Yeah.
The absolute fucking gangster when he puts Blaine in his place.
The riddles and stuff.
And
like,
everything. Well, like just the command me not.
Well, we've just slowly seen like the growth of what gunslingers are. And this is the last one, right? And it's almost like
this is what a traveling gunslinger would have been.
This is the Ronin samurai. Yeah. This is what we probably imagined some Jedi would have been doing, where they literally just travel, and anytime they're needed, they're not taking money from it. They're going to be noble. They're going to do it. Eddie's like, we got to just keep going. Like this is going to waste too much time.
We can't stop. And he's like, we have to.
Yeah,
like it's our duty and everything. And I think that if anyone's going to point to Gilead being evil with the whole Farson thing that we're covering a lot in the book club, it's like, wait. Farson's the bad guy? Doesn't he want democracy? It's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
I think you point to Wolves of the Kala to be like, when the gunslingers were at their peak, this is what they did for people.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
They would go and help people.
And that's the reason that, like, I think those things like the Ronin or the, like the knight in a certain era, or like the Jedi thing, I think that's what attracts people to that, is because it is selfless. And I think that's just such an unusual thing. So, like,
oh, people love those stories.
Yeah.
Like that's where you watch like the heroic stories of war and stuff like that. But then also even like 300 is a fascinating story, and that's why it survived the test of time.
Yeah.
Is because the Battle of Thermopylae is like 300 stood against the might of the Persian Empire, the strongest empire on the planet, and 300 made their stand. And it's like, fuck yeah, you're just like,
Oh, and also the dance.
Oh, yeah, Dance of the Kamala? Fuck yeah.
It's great stuff. We get the Dogen. We get a lot of stuff introduced here. Black 13. There's a lot of stuff going on with this story for sure.
What are the wolves feeding?
What are the wolves?
What are the wolves? What are the wolves feeding? But then also the batshitness crazy that is the wolves of combining Doctor Doom, Harry Potter, and Star Wars. It's like, wait, what?
You know what it reminded me of the first time reading it too, is I watched this back in the 90s as a kid, was 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas.
Oh, I have not seen that forever.
Yeah, it reminded me of that though. You got these like monstrous wolf, like, they're just men, but like it felt very, the whole time I was reading this the first time, I'm like, this feels like 13th Warrior. I haven't watched it probably since like the 90s.
Yeah.
But I should rewatch it. But Chris says, Chris from Australia in the chat says, King with Wolves is doing what he does best, reinventing a story and taking it to 11. He does it with The Shining and Salem's Lot and many others. He does it with the riddling contest from The Hobbit and replacing it with Blaine.
Yeah.
Great points.
That's
sure.
Bilbo versus Gollum.
Gollum,
right?
yeah.
Gollum.
And then Barack says, yes, I love book 5 for so many reasons. Even the bad guys are great characters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Slightman.
Benny Slightman the senior.
Yeah. No, there's
the elder.
It's a great story.
You get
sure.
you get more of the Manny.
You get more.
You get
more
a
Manny.
lot more of the Manny.
Yeah.
And that's one that I forget is reverse of what I said with Song of Susanna. You get a lot of the Manny, but that's in Song of Susanna, but I always think that it's in Wolves of the Kala.
Yeah. No, it's great. I really wish there was more time between these books, because I do think there's a blurriness to the lines for these last 3 books.
Yes.
And I do think that if King would, even if he just wrote them all at once, but then parsed them out where it's like, I'm going to have a minimum 2-year window between each of these books, it would really let like us define those lines of what the borders of these are before, because it does sometimes feel like it's just one giant fucking book.
It really
that was
does.
just chopped up in 3 pieces. So
I wonder if I should do that one time. Just read 5, 6, and 7. You're talking about reading 6 alone. I wonder if I should just read 5, 6, and 7 by themselves as a trilogy.
I think, I don't know if that does, I mean, it could be worth doing, but I think that ultimately I think it's hard though if you do that, because again, if you just go one to the other, it still has that blurriness where it's just like, man. Good stuff though. Wolves of the Kala, and then we got your number 3.
Si, senor.
Get off my window so it doesn't close my shit out. And it's my number 2, and it is
The Dark Tower.
The Dark Tower, book 7. Yes. I mean, this is a great one.
Here we go. Let's talk about the ending.
This was his number 1, if I remember right, from the guy that did this list. I think it was his number 1, because we were both like, how the fuck is 11/22/63 number 2? And it's like, oh, because Dark Tower's number one.
Real fast, his 10, just going to go 10 through 1 real fast. Billy Summers, Revival, Later, Under the Dome, The Institute, Dr. Sleep, Wolves of the Call, or Mr. Mercedes, 11/22/63 in the Dark Tower.
Dark Tower, yeah. This is just a masterful book, man. I mean, I know it's the end, but like, there's so many great things in this book. Like you said, there's some stuff that we think are in Song of Susanna, but it's actually in this. You know, we do have the end. I do think that Dandolo is one of my favorite elements of the entire series. Just such a fascinating creature, and like all of the warnings about him and shit, and then you actually don't realize that you're with him, and like it's just brilliantly written stuff.
Mordred is insane.
Mordred, Empathica.
Book.
I mean, there's so much cool shit in this book that's like,
and then the heartbreak.
Then it's heartbreak after heartbreak. It's just punch after punch after punch, including all the way up through the end. Like, you know, we got more King in the story. It's just a great fucking book, man.
Yeah.
I really love it. I know it's a little bit higher for me, but yeah, I don't know if what do you have to say on
same stuff. The death of the greatest character in Dark Tower Palaver voting.
Yeah, the most beloved character.
The most beloved character. He is Eddie Dean.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
And all the shared characters.
He could talk the devil into setting himself on fire. You probably have it really high because this ties directly now with Hearts in Atlantis. You got Dinky Earnshaw.
Yeah.
You got Brodigan and everything like that, like you were saying.
Well, Dinky's from Everything's Eventual, but yeah.
Oh, isn't he? I thought he was mentioned in Hearts in Atlantis at least once.
Maybe he's alluded to.
Yeah, that's why I was tying.
But the problem is the Dark Tower then jumbles it all in your fucking
yeah.
brain.
It just takes it and just goes.
Yeah, then it's like, wait.
But then also, like, what I think one of the biggest twists in the Dark Tower series, Shimi.
Shimi's a great moment.
When he comes back, Shimi, will you come to me? And it's just like, oh
yeah.
Oh,
that's a big moment I'm waiting for in the book clubs. That'll be a long ways from now, but
it's gonna be, dude. It's gonna be so so good. And then he dies too.
Yeah, he dies. Callahan
with his sacrifices himself.
So yeah, Oi with his noble end.
Oh, his sacrifice.
Flag with his noble end.
No,
that's
that is the pinnacle.
The pinnacle.
The best.
The pinnacle of tragedy.
That is the best death in all of King.
The pinnacle of
watching
of
him, that arrogant fuck, get bested by a child spider and get eaten alive. I love it.
You're a villain.
That's why it's so high on my list.
You're a villain. You must be stopped.
No, he's not. No, he's the villain.
All right, jumping on to number 2. Which
is obviously.
We got the listeners. We got Wolves of the Calla for John. We got Mr. Mercedes from Aaron. Do McKee from Chris from the UK. And then the Wolves of the Calla from Baraki.
Do their number ones as well.
And then
Chris from Australia's number 2 is 11/22/63.
All right.
And then their number ones. I'll just say Chris's real fast. Chris's number 1 from Australia is Doomickey.
And then we got John has 11/22/63. Aaron has The Outsider, and then again, Chris from the UK did make a mistake about Hearts in Atlantis. That's actually, I think he must have looked at the movie as 2001, or conflated it in his head because the book was in 99.
Yeah.
But it's fine though, which still it shows. That's the only thing that bums me out because I just basically took it out of the equations. Because I didn't, whatever. But the only thing I wonder is where would he have put it in the 20th century? Because that's fairly high. And then 11/22/63 for Baraki. And then that puts us for
my number 2, your number 1.
All right. Your number 2 and my number 1. Yes.
11/22/63.
Yes. Definitely.
The greatest time travel story ever told.
I mean,
no.
Can't say I've read all of them, but it's certainly one of my, it's just a masterful book. I mean,
it's so good.
It's what helped me realize that we're in a second golden age of King, right? Yep. Like that's when we decreed that from our perspective back in the day. And it's just, and he's continued with other books that's proven a golden age for sure. So masterful story, one of the best love stories outside of maybe Wolves of the Calla, Wizard and Glass. I think the Susan story versus this story, that's probably the debate for the greatest love story in King, right?
It's this one.
Plus, for me, like the JFK stuff.
You've always been a fan of that, even like when I first met you and everything. Yeah. I will go out on a limb and say that this right here is the reason why we're doing this show. Because King had kind of tapered off a little bit for me. Under the Dome was good. It caught both of our fascinations and everything. But I think 11/22/63 is what really, I don't know about you, but for me, it's what ignited my second coming of King, basically, where it's like,
I don't remember what it was for me.
I need to read more of his stuff. And that's when I really,
because for me, it was
really dived back in. Because that's when a few years later, we started doing the show. I got into Audible and I started listening to audiobooks and everything. And that's where I went from reading about 20 or 30 of his things to reading all but, I think I'm down to like 5 I'm my final 5.
Yeah, you got 72 out of 77.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Greatest, I think it's the greatest love story King's ever written.
Yeah, that's like I said, I would say it's debatable between that and book 4 for Dark Tower. So, yeah, good stuff.
And one of the greatest endings of all of his novels. I will say, I know he had help with it, but I will say, hands down, one of the best endings he's ever written.
Yeah,
I know he gets shit for his endings. So.
I think I'm circling a reread too.
It's close.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got so much.
All right. So we got now we got some stats to look at here.
Yeah.
So first for the 20th century, I just have a bar chart here, just kind of showing everything and how it lines up. But our top 10 counting down, it would be we have a tie at number 10. We have Hearts and Atlantis in the Dead Zone, tied at 16 points. Remember, this gets into the way where if you rank it at number 10, you get a single point. If you rank it at number 1, it gets 10 points. You just invert the numbering system, and then I total it all up. So Hearts and Atlantis and Dead Zone tied. Then we got the Dark Tower, the Drawing of the Three at number 9. Talisman number 8. Green Mile. I guess I have the chart here, but I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually have. I forgot I did late in the game. I ended up doing the actual list. There we go. Pull the list up. So yeah, Talisman number 8, Green Mile 7, The Shining number 6, Wastelands number 5, Salem's Lot number 4, Wizard and Glass number 3, The Stand number 2, and It number 1.
As it should be.
That's incorrect, sir.
As it should be.
Incorrect. And then we got our chart. So just as an example, or just to go back. Let me go back to that chart and show it here. So look at that chart and how it kind of like breaks out versus like it just look how it gets skinny down below for the 21st century. Like it just
there's a lot more middle for 20th. That's for sure.
Yeah. So that is the chart. Looking at that, so I'll go ahead and switch it on over to the top 10. We do have a 3-way tie. Or no, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, did I only put 2 on the screen? Oh, you know what? I forgot to edit it.
Is there a third one?
No. I did. Hearts and Atlantis should not be on here because it's.
Oh, because of the.
Or wait, hold on. We're looking at still the 20.
That's the 20th century.
I just flipped it. That's right. That's what happened. I need to go like that, and then I need to change this to the list, and there we go. So we do have a 3-way tie. We have Under the Dome, we have If It Bleeds, and we have Blaze, all tied at number 10.
Yeah.
Then we have Black House at number 9, Duma Key at 8, Billy Summers at 7, Mr. Mercedes at 6. I almost said 16 because that's the points it got. Outsider at number 5, Dr. Sleep at 4, The Dark Tower, book 7, number 3, Wolves of the Call at number 2, and 11/22/63 at number 1.
Dr. Sleep at 4, Ted.
Oh, I love it when I can get under your skin. It's great, especially when it's accidental. That's my favorite too.
You're just wrong, is what it is.
So yeah, that is our top 10 by century. I keep wanting to say decade.
Baraki, are you still in the chat? If you are you willing to be a guinea pig for me? Just throw it in the chat, yes or no. Okay, go on.
All right. So yeah, well, with that, we'll move on over to the outro stuff. So first of all, if you want to subscribe to us on your podcasting delivery service of your choice, you can stream us on Spotify. You can find us on Amazon Music, Audible.
I have the power to put people in timeout.
So with the shorts, to basically give Peter access to post stuff on the shorts as well. He is now like a moderator, which means that he now has way more power in the chat than he did before.
Snake emojis will not be tolerated in this chat.
They will be.
I will put you in timeout.
I will. Yeah.
I've gone mad with power.
I think there's actually layers to the moderators stuff, so I can.
Don't you dare!
I can take your.
Don't
powers.
take this from me, Tad.
I can. And then if you want to join us live, you can do that here at youtube.com/Dark Tower Palaver. You can like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Also, you'll now be finding our shorts coming through regularly. You'll have stuff from me, from Peter, and then of course March Insanity is coming down the pike. We'll be announcing our topic next episode, which is the year-end bash, is our next roundtable because we are flipping our episodes because
so we're gonna do 2 straight book clubs.
2 straight book clubs, and then the year-end bash. And then if you want to find the show notes, you can do that at darktowerpalaver.com. Although I don't know there's really going to be a lot of show notes for this episode. Yeah, I guess I will do a show notes because I want to put our rankings up there for the folks that are on the podcast side. Then if you want to support the show, you can do that at patreon.com/darktowerpalaver. Hashtag Peter is preposterous. I like that one. And then you get access to our Discord server. You get access to our monthly hangouts, and you get access to hosting a show if you're at the highest level of support. The other 2 benefits go to everyone. If you want to contact the show, Peter can let you know the ways to do that, even though he's preposterous.
I'm not preposterous. The best way to reach us is through email, like these fine fans here have done with their top 10s. Show at darktowerpalaver.com. Find us on Threads and Instagram. It's Dark Tower Palaver, all one word, no spaces. And then our blue sky is at darktowerpalaver.bsky.social. And then our Twitter is at darktowerpod. That's at darktowerpod. Facebook.com/darktowerpalaver is where you'll find us there on Facebook. And then check out our merchandise. It's tpublic.com/users/darktowerpalaver.
And keep an eye on your socials for the shorts, because I have a short that I recorded today to kind of show behind the scenes on what it looks like to put these lists together. So be looking for that on your short feeds, whether it's Instagram or YouTube. So, but yeah, that is it for this episode.
I'm not going to put people in timeout if it deletes their messages.
Oh yeah, that's what it does. Oh. Does it delete? Oh.
Yeah, it goes up and it deletes all of everything that Baraki says. I won't do that.
So hashtag Peter is terrible.
No, I won't do. I was experimenting. I didn't know that it would do that to him.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever looked at most of my options, to be honest.
No, that's terrible. Baraki, I apologize.
Hashtag Peter is a villain. And now no one watching in the future can see anything that Baraki said. Because of you.
Because it was deleted?
Because you're a villain.
I can't undo it. That's terrible.
All right. So with that, we'll sign off as we always do by saying long days and pleasant nights.
Long days and pleasant nights, folks.
All right, everyone in the chat, thank y'all for joining. Thanks for being part of the show. Chris, thanks for throwing a list out with us here midway through midstream. That's awesome. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks for being part of the show. Thanks for being part of the conversation. And we'll see you in a fortnight for 2 straight roundtables the next 2 fortnights, unless you're joining us for Geekery Abides. All right, see you guys.
Bye, everyone.